Hello, everyone. Welcome to a pop-up version of J&N Live. Trying something totally new right now that I've never done before. Usually I'm very anal with this stuff and I have everything written down, but I have no notes, no agenda. Figured I just pop up, and if any of you out there would like to join me, I'd love to talk to you and meet you, and you could talk about your channel. The link to come up is in the chat, and once I know you're in the basement, and if I don't pull you up, make sure you put something in the chat to tell me you're there. So right now I'm going to bring up my son-in-law from the basement. So right now I'm going to bring up Brad. Okay, we're getting some kind of feedback. You have two things on there, or Brad? Okay, we're getting some kind of feedback. Can you see me, Brad? Can you hear me?
I can see you. There's definitely some different feed going on for sure, but I can see you.
All right, let's see. Now you guys have any other device running by any chance, or another YouTube window on the same computer? Hello? Yeah, it's coming from your end because I just muted you and it went away.
Is that any better?
Yeah, it's a lot better. Oh, was on the phone or something?
Okay. Is that any better?
Yeah, it's a lot better. Oh, was on the phone or something?
Yeah, there's another tab open.
Okay, well, we're still getting some feedback. Let's see. All right, let me see. Okay. It seems like it's gone now. Say something now, Brad. Are you there? You're frozen. Oh, okay. Boy, are you seeing the internet feed? Is it clear from your end?
It's clear.
Okay, because you're kind of blurry. So my internet's usually the terrible one, but for some reason, your internet today doesn't.
I was saying that we were having some sort of internet issues, but I think it might be all better now.
That's a little better. Okay, hopefully you're hearing me in real time. Well, me and Brad have a common, we like to talk whenever we're together on sports, so I figured he might want to come up and just talk a little bit of sports. So welcome up here, Brad.
Appreciate you having me.
And I guess we could just start with how about a little bit of talk on Super Bowl. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, let's do it. It's going to be an interesting game. There's a whole lot of storylines, just even inside the game itself. With Mahomes, trying to chase Brady with potentially being the best of all time or the greatest of all time. You have, if Brady gets this one, does he completely solidify the fact that he's, the true GOAT, and maybe Mahomes has no chance of catching him? That's starting to really come alive, and I think it's gonna be a great game. The game will be interesting with the Brady versus Manning era of Mahomes. So it's gonna be an awesome game.
Yeah, it should be. And most of you people don't know, but Brad is a big Pittsburgh fan, and I'm a big Patriots fan. So this kind of has mixed feelings. Pittsburgh was supposed to go close to the Super Bowl, and Brady has left the Patriots and gone to the Tampa Bay, who is now in the Super Bowl. So it's a lot of underlying opinions on this whole thing. It looks like Sherry's in the house. I guess Sherry is a big Chiefs fan. So what do you think? What's your prediction, Exit? What is your prediction, Brad, for the winner and total points? I was going to keep it running.
That's a great question. I think the Chiefs offense is just too tough to hold down. I think it's one of those kind of Michael Jordan sayings where, you can't stop them. You can only really hope to contain them. And I think if we learned anything from last Super Bowl, the 49ers really stopped them for 3 quarters and then maybe even 3.5 quarters. And then all of a sudden the Chiefs just blew up. And I think I think it's going to be kind of a shootout. I know Vegas has it being a shootout with a pretty high over-under score.
Oh, Brad, you froze again.
So I'm thinking it's going to be – I think the Chiefs I know, good old internet here. Is that any better?
Yeah. So, Casey, you got – and okay. How about for total points?
Yeah, I'm going to say 35-30.
So 65 points.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's your prediction on the Super Bowl. Good insight. It should be a shootout between the two teams. It looks like their Browns coming back again, right? He's on the docket, so Brady's going to have a ton of weapons once again.
Yeah, looks that way. It'll be interesting. How do the Chiefs pass rush? Can they affect Brady at all? We all know that Brady, and you as everybody knows, especially being a big Patriots fan, knows if you can pressure Brady, then that's kind of his kryptonite. So, as pretty much any quarterback's kryptonite.
Right. And from both sides, I'm trying to think of the running games. I guess the KC has the better of the two running games.
Yeah. I mean, the KC's interesting. They have the rookie Edwards-Helaire, and the midseason pickup of Le'Veon Bell was a good one. And then they've been running Williams, and he's been pretty effective as well too. I personally though I do like Ronald Pickle Jones and Fournette for the Bucs. It kind of depends on his Jones. He's kind of been banged up the past 2 weeks, so.
Yeah, he's been banged up, right, for the second part of the season.
Yeah, he's been in and out for sure. He might have cost some money in one of my fantasy leagues when he injured himself in warm-ups and he missed the game. So I might be a little bitter about that.
Yeah. And let's just slide over because I know you're a big NBA guy. What are your opinions on the NBA right now and with all the postponements and such?
Yeah, it's interesting. Seeing NBA arenas with no fans, and NBA's done pretty well with kind of having fan music essentially and kind of getting it that way. I think it's it's tough times right now, and I think they've done a great job. They obviously did a phenomenal job with the bubble, and I thought that was a huge success. I think they're doing the best they can with the season as well too. I know having all these postponements is always tough, but I'm excited that they're playing, and I know you're a big Celtics fan, and they look like they could potentially make some noise in the East, and you as I'm a kind of a big Lakers fan, and I'm excited that Lakers are playing pretty well, although they've just lost 2 games in a row, but. It's going to be a good season.
Yeah, I figure the Lakers got to have those allows. You can't keep that intensity up for 52 games they're playing this year.
Yeah, and it's been incredible to see that LeBron James is. I assume that he would be not really load managing because he says he's not a big load management guy, but he's playing back to backs. He's playing all the time, which I'm really shocked about. So
he's incredible, isn't he? Incredible athlete.
He really is. I mean, between he and Brady, it's those right now might be the only two that have really, given Father Time a run for their money with major sports. So,
even though LeBron, I think he's kept his same level in a much more physical game.
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, the block I don't know if you saw the block he had last night, but it literally took me back to his young Cavalier days. And so yeah, it's incredible. I guess if you're spending $1 million on your body over the off season or throughout the season like he does, I mean, I guess that's a pretty big investment. So, but yeah, it's been incredible to see.
I haven't heard that. What's this $1 million for? You're saying just for personal trainers and such?
Yeah. So yeah, a total of $1 million for I think training, recovery, massage therapy, nutrition.
Hold on one second here. Just saying goodbye to the wife who's heading to work. So.
Sure, yeah.
We'll go off camera a minute.
Okay. Have fun.
Have a good day. Be careful. Okay, I'm back. Back in the bat cave.
Yeah. Wow.
Let's see. Sherry says she's got to support the Missouri teams: Chiefs, Cardinals, Blues, and Mizzou.
Mizzou had a great college football team. I don't know, maybe like 5 or 6 years ago. I think I haven't really heard of much since, but
she's a big supporter of anything, just like she is on the YouTube here.
Sure. The Blues, that one hurts a little bit as being a Bruins fan.
Yeah. That's right. It's very strange. Brad's from the East Coast, but his teams are Pittsburgh Steelers, the Lakers, the Bruins. He has one local team. In baseball, you like the Red Sox, but who's your team of choice? You don't really have one, right?
Yeah, baseball I don't really get into as much. And just a quick little, just so people don't think I'm jumping on bandwagons here. So family's from Pennsylvania, so hence the love for the Steelers, and growing up with that, and then always was a Kobe Bryant fan, and at the time loved Kobe, and then that's what got me into basketball, and so then I've always just kind of stuck with the Lakers, even through some bad periods of time when Kobe was kind of on his way out, and they were missing the playoffs multiple years in a row, so stuck with them, and then you got to support a local team of some sort, so why not the Bruins?
Didn't they just celebrate Kobe's 1-year anniversary?
They did, yes.
Yep. It doesn't seem like it's been that long, does it?
I know it's that's crazy to think about. It really doesn't. It's interesting with the pandemic. It feels like it was just yesterday, but it also feels like it could have been 10 years ago.
Right. If anyone in the chat would like to come up and talk sports with us, the link is in the chat, and I'm sure Brad will stay a little while and talk to you about sports if you want. But this is an open agenda. Anything that you want to talk about, to travel, sports, anything, the link is in the chat. Go ahead. You were saying something, Brad?
No, I was curious. I was curious, John, about I don't know if you're keeping your Super Bowl prediction to the end or not, but I was kind of curious your prediction.
I just haven't thought it through. I think it's going to be high scoring. I figured, what did I think? 31-27, I think is what I said, something around that. But I've wavered back and forth. I do think Tampa Bay is going to win, even though I really don't want them to, but because of personal grudges. But I just think they have everything going their way. And I think the big thing with Tampa Bay is their defense. Even though everyone raves about the offense, I think they had the 5th-ranked defense in the league this year.
Yeah, they've come a long ways too of late too. And they have a great pass rush as well too. So that'll be, that could neutralize Mahomes a little bit.
That's right. Hello, Brian, NASCAR fan 22, and Will from the Hitchhiking Bones. I'm going to throw the link up again. If any of you guys want to jump in on this sports talk, please come up and join us. Let's see. So it's, I think it's a little unfair too, and I don't know how you get around it, but given a strong team like that, and then you give them a home field advantage, you don't almost think they'd have three sites, in sight, so I don't know how you can do that, but
yeah, I think this is technically the first time it's ever happened, right?
Yes.
I think that's the case, and it only seems right, the fact that you have Tom Brady playing at home, that it seems like it was almost drawn up that way.
Yeah, I know. It seems like everything goes his way when they line stuff up, Yeah, even the way they started the season, they were breaking all sorts of rules on their practices and everything else, and then that kind of went away. You never heard you never heard any more on that, any kind of punishments or league sanctions or anything with that. And they had a great year, and like you said, right back to the Super Bowl in their own neck of the woods. Do you know how many fans are allowing in?
I don't. I actually haven't read anything about that. At one point, they were talking about doing first responders and that they were gonna kind of open it up and really show their support for first responders and everybody else, kind of everybody at the front lines. I don't know if they're going that direction or not. So I haven't actually seen anything about that.
Yeah, Will from the Hitching Bones said the 49ers had a good pass rush last year and they got handled.
You know what? I would agree with that. One thing I might say though is it looks like what I think it was it Winston? Is that the offensive tackle's last name? I think who just tore his Achilles in the last game. So that'll be interesting to see. So I think the Chiefs will be down 2 starting offensive linemen for the Super Bowl, which could be interesting. Could be something to watch.
Yeah. I mean, I still fear that pass rush for that Tampa has going.
Yeah, Shaq Barrett's pretty good.
Let's see, just typing a quick thing in here in the chat there. Will said, great point, Brad. He's going to hold that over my head now. Brady is still the golden boy.
Brady is definitely the golden boy still, for sure.
And he'll have that till he retires. How many more years do you think he'll be playing?
If you would have asked me that earlier in the season when he kind of seemed to be struggling, I would have said maybe 1 or 2. He could be around still, maybe 3 or 4. Just kind of still haunting me and taunting me on the on the TV.
Let's see. So Blaine predicts 34-20 Kansas City, so a total of 64 points. I am keeping a tab. I'm keeping a list of predictions, and then when the Super Bowl is over, I'm going to post it on my Facebook page. So if you haven't already, throw who you think's going to win in the chat and the total number of points scored, so I can write it down here. Don't make me go back through the chat later and find it. Okay, and I'm going to put the link. Blaine says Brady is almost ready for AARP. You're right about that. I'm going to put the link out here again. Anyone who wants to come up, we're talking sports right now, but we can talk anything, and we will switch the conversation. Let's see. Oh, we got a hockey question from Will. Let's see how you can do with this one. Hockey question. How awful is it to see Chara in the Capitals uniform? It messes with my head. Yeah, it does, but I think it was the right move. I think they had to go younger.
Yeah, you had to move on. You had to move on from him. And unfortunately, he didn't, he felt like he still had some production left. It would have been nice to see him, fully retire as a Bruin and that being it. But yeah, that messes with my head as well.
Yeah, with his choice, it probably would have been a couple more years with the Bruins. And I think they're on I don't even think it's a money factor because didn't the Capitals get him for almost a bare minimum this year?
Yeah. I think the Bruins are just looking to move on. I mean, they have plenty of young defensemen, kind of in the wings, and so I think it was only right. And one kind of blessing in disguise is having Patrice Bergeron being a captain. I think that's been kind of preserved for a while now. So.
Yeah, definitely. And the younger crew. I mean, some of those defensemen are starting to look pretty good. It's early in the season. I think they're first in penalty killing right now at like 93%. So.
Yeah, I mean, I love Charlie McAvoy. He's by far my favorite NHL player. You gotta love Chubby Charlie.
Yeah, I always remember that year that they pulled him up too early and they lost a year of contract with him.
Yeah, I do, and now they're kind of battling that right now because he just went to arbitration in the off season.
Yeah, and that's going to be a big meal ticket. Let's see. Blaine says Brady and Breeze had a pregame meal together at a local restaurant where they enjoyed the senior discount. Yeah.
You could probably put Roethlisberger in there as well too.
Now, that's actually, I was going to ask you that, being the Pittsburgh fan that you are. I was very surprised that they're even considering him coming back again. What do you think of that whole deal?
Yeah, I am as well too. Yeah, I don't know if I've really had time to fully process what what I really would like to see. They just signed Dwayne Haskins a couple weeks ago, the former like 12th round pick or 12th overall pick for the Washington football team made. He's kind of an Ohio boy, so close to Pittsburgh, but he looked ferocious. Seems pretty immature. He's great at Ohio State, so that could be something to watch. But I'm not sure about Big Ben. He definitely his arm did not look nearly as strong, and his decision making was very poor. So if you get him at the right price, maybe, and it's kind of a bridge and to maybe Haskins or somebody else. But right now, I don't think there's another quarterback on their roster that I would like to see taking the reins. So.
But that's a very good point. The Patriots blew it with their bridge guy, and it was a total loss of a season this season. If you stick with someone like, if you could keep Roethlisberger around for one more year, that would be the perfect bridge because people aren't going to look down on that. They're going to look at you as you did the right thing.
I agree, and the reports have come out and said that that the money doesn't really matter, which how true is really that? I don't know if there's a lot of truth to that. If he'll turn down a ton of money and restructure his contract, but yeah, it'll be interesting. It would be nice. I think it would be only right if he did retire a Steeler, and so if he thinks he can play a couple more years, maybe use him as a bridge, but. I saw some reports that Mike Tomlin's not looking to rebuild, so they're a little fearful if Roethlisberger walks, then Tomlin might want out as well too. So
interesting. That would be a shame.
Yeah, so that would be interesting for sure.
Segueing back over the hockey, Will says, agreed. It's a shame, but Chara still wants to compete, and the Bruins were ready to turn the page. I'd say the Bruins are ready to, I guess, turn the page on Chara, but. They're still looking to compete.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they were definitely yes, yeah. And so Will is right about bringing McAvoy up during the playoffs. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a playoffs that they didn't think they will get. Did they get out of the first round? They don't remember that year, but they were ones if they weren't. They weren't going to compete much, and everyone was saying leave them down, and they fought for the whole year because of it.
Right. Yep. That's exactly what happened. Yeah, and I think they got beat pretty bad in the playoffs. I think it was like 4-2 or something.
Yeah. Blaine says, "Did you see the Cardinals traded for Nolan Arenado? As a lifetime Braves fan, that wasn't good for us." I did not see that. Are you familiar with that trade, Brad?
Yeah, so I did see that. I'll be completely honest. I saw it on. I have an app that kind of talks all sports and stuff. I don't know much about Nolan. I know the Braves were solid, this past year. And I think Nolan played pretty well for him, if I remember right. So that's all I really know, though. Baseball is definitely the weakest of my sports knowledge for sure.
Yeah. What do we determine? What's your favorite baseball? You really don't have one, right?
So it's it's funny. I was a huge Ken Griffey Jr. fan, and so I love the Mariners. And then when he got traded to the Reds, then I became kind of a Reds fan. And they had Barry Larkin at the time and Ken Griffey Jr. And then he went back to the Mariners, so then I was kind of a Mariners fan. And then from there, it was more or less like I guess I'll just root for the home team. So yeah, it's like a weak Red Sox fan, I guess you could say.
Oh, you hung up again. You're back again, I think. Okay. Brian says, I'm going to have to agree with Brad. Charlie McAvoy is my favorite Bruins player. To thank you, Brad. So he loves McAvoy also.
No need to thank me, that's for sure.
Will says, yeah, that's what I was going for. They're definitely still competitive, and Bergeron is quality choice to take on the sea. Absolutely. Now, Will, where are you guys from? Because I didn't think you seem to be into Boston sports a lot, but I didn't think trying to think now. Thought they were from out west. Brad, you want to do? Blaine would like to do a little bit of college football talk.
Let's do it.
Blaine, why don't you come up, and instead of sending the questions, you and Brad can talk about it up top here. Let me put the link up there again. Anyone that wants to come up, this is the link.
John, while you're pulling them up there, what's your favorite Super Bowl snack or appetizer or food, if you will?
It's a traditional chip and dip, but not the guacamole, just a regular chip and dip.
Dip, yep.
That's like good. How about yours?
I don't know if I have one. I'm almost afraid to say mine. I might never be invited back on the show, but I do enjoy a good hummus. So,
oh yeah, okay. Blaine's driving right now. As soon as he's almost home, as soon as he gets home, he's gonna come up. So
all right, this could be my last time invited back on the show here with that answer.
No, I think this could be the beginning of a beautiful relationship right here.
Let's make it happen.
Okay, anyone else want to throw any sports questions? If not, then we'll pick another. Actually, we'll come back to sports, right? Because this is necessarily a travel channel, and we went on our first cruise Brad went on his first cruise with us, and did not want to have anything to do with cruises. It was a cruise out of Boston to Bermuda, and that was your only cruise, right?
That was my only cruise. Yep.
But it hooked him. And if you want to talk a little bit about what you liked about your first time cruising to anyone out there that's maybe timid on take. A lot of people out there find every reason in the world why cruises won't work. Can you think of a reason why it works for you now?
Yeah, I mean, I could, we could make this a full, hour or two. I could really, sell individuals on cruises. But so my biggest fear really was running out of things to do. And I didn't think that, being on a cruise ship, being very naive and not really knowing, I didn't really think that there would be much to do. And I'm somebody who, I'm not a big fan of just laying by the pool all day and just soaking up the sun. I'd rather be doing different things, excursions and activities. And so, when we went on the cruise together, I was shocked at the amount of things that you can do, from, tournaments you can enter. The cruise ship had a basketball court, so they had different basketball tournaments and table tennis, as well as shuffleboard, and then the shows as well too. And it seemed like, it was funny. It almost seemed like you didn't have enough time. At least I felt like I didn't have enough time to do everything that I really wanted to do. So that was the first thing. And then the second thing is it's nice where you enter the cruise ship and you're pretty much already on vacation. You're not flying anywhere. You're not driving anywhere. You just walk onto that cruise ship, and then the vacation has pretty much started, even though the cruise ship hasn't even, set sail yet. So that was also something that was real nice. And of course the food, I was shocked at how good the food is. And I didn't think you'd really get that quality of on a, and it really surprised me how good it was.
Yeah, both Brad and my son, I think, had 2 or 3 plates at every meal. They just wanted to try everything. It was a great way to go.
Yeah,
and good.
They encouraged it as well too. It was funny. You almost feel guilty doing it, but the servers and it would actually kind of encourage it, which was nice.
Yeah, my first cruise, I always felt intimidated, like, oh, they're going to think I'm a glutton if I order more than one. But you're right. They kind of, you ask a question about a couple of things and say, well, try them both. We'll bring you both. So
yeah. I think they understand Americans as well too.
Yeah. One of the big questions when people are cruising too is do they like? I can spend the whole week on the cruise ship. I don't need to stop in an island, even though that's nice. Other people don't like staying on a cruise ship, and they'd rather have a port every day. Now, I guess an even mix is nice, a 7-day cruise having 3 stops. But if I was to pick one, it's the ship, staying on the ship and doing everything on the ship. How did you feel after a week cruising?
Yeah. I think I would like a good mix. I like the ports, and you just get to see kind of different cultures and in different stops. I'll be honest, I don't think you can really go wrong. I think to each their own, really. If it's kind of nice where you have the option where if you want to stay on the cruise ship and you're content with being on the cruise ship, you have that option. If you would rather get out and kind of enjoy some different ports, you have that option as well too. Now, obviously, different cruises have different ports, how many ports. But it's nice where they're not forcing you off the ship if you don't want to get off the ship. And so I enjoyed actually checking out some ports and whatnot. But I'd be content with being on the ship in the entire time as well too.
It's interesting though. The only cruise you've been on was Bermuda, and Bermuda spends two nights, 3 days there.
Yeah.
Bermuda is a very expensive island, so it works out to be a great deal. Your ship is your hotel, it's your restaurant, all that stuff, and it's very easy to walk off the ship and do stuff because you're there overnight. The tough factor when you go to these other ports, you're only in port for sometimes 6 to 8 hours. It's a lot. You got to be a lot more thrifty with your time. What you're going to do with it, and then you got to make sure the biggest fear is getting back to the ship on time. So yeah, it would be interesting once we get you on another ship that has multiple ports. If you feel the same way.
Yeah.
You probably will because it's a way to explore stuff. So you probably will. Well, we're going to segue over back to sports here, Brad, because we have a couple questions in the house here. We have Brian, that baseball question. What do you think about the Pawtucket Paw Sox moving out of Worcester and becoming the Worcester Woo Sox? It's messing with my head. I have not been following the Paw Sox that closely. And, of course, they didn't have a season last year, right? Didn't they just do away with that whole thing?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah, I think the minor leagues were completely do you know anything about them? And
I don't. My first thought is, I think Woo Sox sounds better than Paw Sox. So I think, you know what? I like the name. Let's stick with Woo Sox. Yeah.
I agree with you. I'd probably wear a shirt that said Woo Sox a lot more, more common.
Yeah.
But that's interesting. I didn't even know they had moved. And Will comes back with the answer to my question. He lives in the Dallas area. Became a hockey fan in 2015 and got the bug in a big way. I follow the Bruins and Red Wings because they're my friends' favorite teams. My team is Dallas Stars. Thanks for
That's
right. They're their best player, right?
Yeah. Yep. I think he's been playing really well too this year.
Now, did they go? They went pretty far in the playoffs, didn't they? Will this past year, they went into their bubble. Now that's an interesting thing, huh? The hockey, we'll call it a bubble, but it's not really a bubble. But how they divide into two countries.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. No, that's it's kind of interesting and cool to see at the same time.
Yeah. Well, welcome in Gail Southern Living. Go ahead, finish what you got to say, and then I have Blaine in the basement who wants to come up and talk to you about college football.
Sure. Yeah. No, I just was I think in 2015, pretty sure the Red Wings were like almost unstoppable. I think so. I think that's when they won like 2 Stanley Cups from like 2015 to like 2019. I'm pretty sure. So. Remember,
you had that the Islanders run and then the Edmonton run, or vice versa. They seemed to come in clumps. And then Detroit had the series, and I think Washington's had a decent run, but they haven't made it to the. Have they made it to the finals yet, or won the finals yet? They won 1 year, right?
Yeah, 1 year. Yeah, Ovechkin got one. Yeah.
Yeah, Will said that they lost to Tampa in the Stanley Cup. I'm going to bring Blaine up. Blaine, give me a thumbs up if you're ready. Okay.
Hey.
Thank you for joining us, Blaine. Blaine, meet Brad. Now, Brad is not big into this YouTube stuff, so to just put a little intro on Blaine started something during the pandemic by running, which is known today as the Blaine-a-thons, and he got people, channels to do a traveling together and ran these marathons, did several of them, which got a lot of us to know each other. So he just was monetized last week. Congratulations on that again.
Thank you.
And if you want to, what we usually do when we bring someone up is let them just give an intro about their channel, Brad, and then we'll switch to college football. So, Blaine, if you want to talk about your channel a little bit.
Yeah, so I'm Blaine with Rayleigh Creative Travel. We do cruise talk, Disney, land vacations, and we also talk about RV travels. We live in our 45-foot fifth wheel full time, so we like to do the RV thing. So we go live on Monday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern, and we have a good time doing that, and get to know the community pretty well doing that. So that's about it. And we also have a Facebook group. It's Rayleigh Creative Travel Tribe. So if anyone's interested in checking that out, we post different things over there as well. So yep, that's about it. We enjoy getting to know the community. So it's a great community too.
And Blaine is extremely active in it. So college football, he's more of a college football follower than NFL, correct, Blaine?
That's right, Alabama. I know this is Alabama. Man, I just had my Alabama football visor on a second ago, but yeah, born and raised in Alabama. So
Roll Tide.
Yeah, Roll Tide. Now I'm in South Carolina, so I've been here for 15 years. So yeah, so we've gone through the good, bad, and the ugly. Luckily for the last 10 or so years, we've had some pretty good years. So
I was gonna say it's been a lot of good, not a lot of ugly. That's
yeah,
for sure.
That was pretty bad in the early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s, and then Saban came to us and kind of saved us a little. So it's been good.
So as far as college football,
and I'm open to talking anything. Shoot, I love sports in general. It don't matter if it's hockey. I'm a Preds fan. I'm a Braves baseball fan, and I'm more of a Falcons fan just because I lived in Alabama. We don't have an NFL team, so by default, I guess we live like 2 hours from Atlanta, so it was the closest team. If I was probably smart, I would have picked up on it's Tennessee Titans. They weren't the Tennessee Titans early on; they were the Houston Oilers. But if I was smart, I would have jumped on the Tennessee Titans, even though they were kind of bad, several years ago. They've kind of turned things around a little bit, so.
We've got Three Souls Paranormal dropped in. Thank you for joining us. Graham Patterson, who is saying hello to you, Blaine.
Hey, Graham, good to see you. He's over in Scotland.
That's right. You're seen around the world, Brad. It's the wonders of YouTube. Three Souls Paranormal was born and raised in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and has been a Buccaneers fan since 1987. There's a long wait, huh?
Yeah.
It's a long way.
So, Blaine, let me ask you the same question.
Hang on a second. It's cutting out a little bit. Is it me? It may be me.
I asked Brad. Oh, that was weird. Are you back?
Yep, I'm
Brad,
good.
can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, you're good. Yeah, it might have been from here. This is one of the worst. We're on the waiting list, which is one of the worst internets you can have. So, Blaine, I want to ask you the same question I asked Brad when it comes to sports. What are you, of the four major sports, what are your favorite teams in each?
Okay, my I guess we'll start with NFL. Like I said, I'm a Falcon fan just by default being that close to Atlanta. I didn't really have an NFL team in Alabama. That was the closest one we did have. Let's see, NBA. I just like NBA. I don't really have a favorite or anything. I just like a good basketball game. And then baseball is the Atlanta Braves. And then I guess we can go college out, University of Alabama. And then even hockey, I'm a Predator fan. So,
who is your favorite, Brad? I don't think we asked you that. Who's your favorite college football team?
I don't really have a favorite college football team. It's kind of like baseball for me. I guess if you were to choose, I always fall in love with the kind of a different college player and start rooting for that team. So I've been a big Trevor Lawrence fan So I definitely, kind of became a Clemson fan because of Trevor Lawrence. When Matty Mock was on Mizzou, I don't know why, but I just enjoy Matty Mock, and so I started rooting for Mizzou, and so yeah, I mean, when I do kind of enjoy the fact that Nick Saban's been always kind of been on the on the higher end of the ranks, and he's kind of had to defend off people coming for Alabama every single year. I've respect for that, and it's always tough as being a coach. It's always tough trying to repeat after you win a national title, and I think the fact that he does it year after year is impressive. So I have a lot of respect for Alabama.
And what makes it even tougher is it seems that each year we'll lose anywhere from 3 to 4 to 6 coaches, because someone gets a head coaching job, like Steve Sarkisian going to. Matter of fact, one of the guys my brother used to coach and we know in a little town in Alabama, he actually was going to coach with. Well, Butch Jones was on the Saban staff as an assistant, to the coach or whatever. He was kind of Saban's little sidekick or whatever, and he's going to Arkansas State. Well, this guy that we know, AJ, we call him AJ is his nickname, but he's going to he was going to be his quarterback coach, and now he's going to Texas to be Sarkisian's one on his staff. So it's like every year. I think this year we lost 8 staff members of that team. So.
Yeah, it's incredible. Saban does a great job of then getting higher known coaches who maybe struggled at the NFL level or something like that. Mm-hmm. Kind of like a Lane Kiffin type of deal when he brought in Lane Kiffin and kind of he got Lane Kiffin back to where he needed to be, and then next thing Lane Kiffin's a head coach again. So I also have major respect for that. I think Belichick kind of does that same thing in New England too.
Yeah, that's the joke that goes around with Saban and stuff is he brings in the coaches to get them ready for that next – to kind of give them a second chance, and then they go and become even better than they were before, so.
Yeah. So, absolutely. What were your thoughts on Kiffin? I know in the Alabama world he was either loved or hated.
I mean, I didn't mind Kiffin, he did good while he was there with us, and I mean – I kind of liked him myself. I know, like you said, a lot of people hate him, especially in the SEC after he did what he did with Tennessee.
Yeah,
so,
that's right. Yeah.
Yep. Tennessee fans, they're not too. They don't like him for sure. But yeah, I didn't mind him. I mean, he's a great coach. If you look at his record, I mean, to me, he's doing a whole lot better than he did in the NFL. So.
Oh, for sure, yeah. He's I always loved the fact he would celebrate those touchdowns early. His hands would go up before the pass was even thrown. Yeah.
And then somebody ended up getting a penalty or something and then get called back.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, he I mean, I don't mind him, and now of course he's an old man, so we'll see. He might go on and do better things too. I don't know, with a different school. I'm surprised he didn't actually get another job this year. Do kind of what he did to Tennessee. Stay there for 2 and then jump ship somewhere else. So.
Yeah, that's kind of the Lane Kiffin way.
Yeah.
I've got someone in the basement to join us, guys, all the way from Australia. Sean, you ready to come up? Yep. Okay.
Well, if I was doing this traditionally, John, it would be 6:34 Sunday morning. How are you, John?
Good, and we are at 2:44 p.m. here. So this is what it's like across. So, Sean, the only one you don't know in here is Brad on the top right corner.
How you going, Brad?
I'm great. How are you?
And this is Sean from Australia. So, Sean, in the tradition, why don't you just start off by talking about your channel, and then we'll switch to general conversation.
Cool. First of all, let me just say it is 6:34 in the morning. If you guys don't mind, I'm busy breakfasting before I go to work. Down Under Cruises, what are we all about? We are as you said, Australian channel. We do not focus on Australia. We want the world to come to Australia and New Zealand. And so we try and showcase our Kiwi brothers. I'll use that affectionately because there is plenty of rivalry between the two of us. Australia is better. No, we try and showcase Australia and New Zealand out to the rest of the world. We want you guys to come down. We want you guys to have some fun here, learn about our nice, fair region. And in turn, our channel, we talk a lot about cruising and other trips around the place. So our channel, we run Wednesday evenings, Melbourne time at 8 p.m. And we also do our live streams on a Friday night, 10 p.m. your time, which works out to 2 p.m. our time, Saturday afternoon. Come on board, check us out.
Thank you, Sean. Okay, so Sean's version of sports is mostly, what is your big sport over there? Is it rugby or is it, it's not soccer, right?
No,
or cricket?
There is, there is Australian rules football, which takes over the whole football community here. It's a sickness that these Aussies have. My game is rugby, and then summertime it's cricket here.
Cricket, okay. I have never seen a cricket match, but I've come close to them on a couple cruises where they had a bus ride over to one. They look fascinating on TV.
Cricket is one of those interesting games where you can actually spend 5 days, literally 5 days playing and not come out with a score. So, yeah, it is one of those unique games. But then again, there's this new... I would say it's relatively new. It's been going for the last, say, 5 years or so. It's called T20 or the Big Bash, where you only have 20 overs, and that can get quite exciting because things have got to be done in 20 overs. So that is a good game.
That's a sport where you can actually score points by hitting the ball backwards, right?
Correct.
You're not baseball. Yeah, not baseball. That's a foul ball, but I noticed you can hit it backwards and score that way.
But it's the way you hit it backwards.
You're right about that. Brad or Blaine, either of you ever seen a cricket match or watched any on YouTube?
I've watched, but I'm not. I've watched on TV and different things, but yeah, I'm not too too familiar with cricket or anything.
Blaine's too busy helping everybody else get their channels up. That's
It's probably true. A quick hello to Monarch Moments. I think it's Garrett out there for joining us. We also have Sarah from Q's Cruises.
G'day, Sarah. Happy birthday.
That was yesterday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's see. And then... Oh, the Travel Scouts have popped in. How you guys doing? Nice to see you here. I'm going to put and Larry just joined us from the Plump Cruises. I'm going to put the link out there again if anyone else wants to come up. I think I can hold a max of 6 on my version. Blaine, you have the next step up on this, right?
I do, and I was going to say real quick, Sean is correct. It is her birthday, and tomorrow and all, but today is actually she just said it too. Today's Sarah's birthday, so
today, okay.
Technically it is the next over there with Sean, so it's a new day.
That's right. So Sean said it properly.
I know, but yeah, we let's see here. So I thought
Larry says it's 11:49. It's 2:49 p.m. here.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna say, hey,
kind of a day you guys we're expecting about 24 degrees. Oh, sorry, that's C.
Yeah, so what are you getting for temperature?
I'm just asking what's the weather going to be like for you guys, because I'm going to be busy working.
Over here it's in the what do you think, Brad? It's in the low to high teens or something?
Yeah, I mean, this morning it was it was 9 degrees with a negative chill. So,
guys, I'm going to bring someone else up on the stream. Larry, you ready? Okay.
Hey, everyone.
Hey, Larry, how you doing, buddy?
Larry from Plump Travelers, and the only one you don't know, Larry, is Brad up in the middle there.
Hi, Brad.
let's do a quick hit on you. Could talk about your channel before we get further into discussions.
Well, as you can see, my channel's named Plump Travelers. My wife and I are plump people, and we love to travel. Really, why I really wanted to come on, John, because you asked me a while ago about me joining a travel agent. So I'm actually about to sign the contract to become a travel agent. So,
well, congratulations. That's excellent.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, my channel's about traveling while being plus size. I just started October of last year, but everyone knows what happened. Never got no travel content out, so now I'm just using old footage until traveling gets back to normal.
So what happened, Larry?
What happened?
Yeah,
With?
you said everybody knows what happened.
Oh, okay. Something really, really, really bad happened. Put me on the spot, Sean. Thanks.
As usual.
It's okay. You'll go live again. I'll put you on the spot.
Please.
No. It's all good. All good. Hi, Blaine.
Hey, Larry, how's it going?
I'm great. How are you?
Good.
So what have you been up to, Larry?
What am I been up to? That's another question that puts me on the spot. Not much.
Actually, guys, well, I have you all on here because I'm keeping track of this. We have a live coming up Wednesday, our afternoon live, and we have one on Super Bowl Sunday. And I'm trying to keep a list of people's predictions. So I've got Blaine's and I got Brad's. Sean, I don't know if you even know if you follow Super Bowl at all, but either Kansas City or Tampa Bay.
Going Tampa.
Now, Tampa is the Green Bay, right?
Tampa's out of Tampa Bay, Florida.
Buccaneers.
The team name.
Buccaneers, yeah. Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
The Buccaneers would be the underdogs compared to Kansas City. Because Kansas City won it last year, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Who's
you
that
pick.
Who's
I
that
go-
famous player that you're all going nuts over? What's his name?
Oh, Brady?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Who's he playing for?
Well, see the shirt I'm wearing? This is where he used to play, and this is where he won his championships up in New England. But he's now playing for Tampa Bay.
He used to play for the Patriots.
Now wait a minute. I've got a question then. If Tampa Bay are considered to be the underdogs, and the almighty hero is playing for the underdogs, how can they be underdogs?
I'm not sure who's calling them underdogs. Brad, have you seen any lines out there?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, the last line I thought Tampa Bay was a 3.5 underdog. I don't know if they said they thought it was going to tighten up a little bit where it might be like 3, but
So it's really close.
That was my own statement calling them the underdogs. I was just going by normally, the last year, the last
Defending champs.
was the favorites to win. So I always go for the underdog. So
yeah, Vegas has them the underdog.
Travel Scouts watched last year's Super Bowl from a cruise ship. How's that sound, guys?
No, that's awesome. I mean, that's upsetting.
I know. So Sean and Larry. So what did you pick for your winner?
Go ahead, Sean.
So what I was going to say was, being the expert in the game that I'm not, let me just flick a coin a second. Hang on.
Go ahead.
I'm going to test Tampa.
You get Tampa. And what'd you say, Larry?
Tampa.
Okay, and I need a total number of points in the game.
Uh,
But hang on. Your game goes for 75 years, doesn't it?
It could, yeah.
I don't know. What's a kick between the posts?
That's 3, and a touchdown 6 plus 1 for the extra point. So
Okay, so that's like rugby. So 7. So and it goes for how long?
it's 60 minutes.
60 minutes.
You're actually doing some calculations on this?
I'm trying to figure it out. And the one team is the underdog, which has got the best player in the league. I'd say it'd be a walkover. I don't know. Let's put a figure on it. 30 points to zip.
Okay, so you have a 30-point total. And Larry?
24-7.
Okay, 31.
Wow. You're not even giving Mahomes but one
No.
score.
And Sean, Brady is considered probably one of the better quarterbacks of all time, but not presently. Mahomes is a much higher rated quarterback right now.
Only because he's younger.
Right.
But somebody else has got the record on the board as far as I understand. But then what do I know?
No, you're right. Brady's got all sorts of records out there. So they watched it on the cruise ship. Let's see what Garrett says. He is 42. Well, Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Brady's 42 years old, and Mahomes is.
I didn't want to upset
Hey, welcome
you.
in, Karki. Thank you for joining us.
Sean, I'm on a cell phone here, and the pictures are very small. Are you in prison?
Close. The place called this is a walkway here called the Causeway, which is a lane in the centre of the city of Melbourne.
Oh, it looks like arranged here in a prison.
Well, close. Melbourne has been a prison for the last 12 months.
Yeah.
Hang on a second. That was
You're,
our
you're
history.
still on total lockdown, right?
No, we're not. Free to move. But some of the borders are locked down for the moment.
So yeah, and now they're starting to put all this new stuff in place. You guys all heard about the NCL's latest thing yesterday, didn't you? Sending all the crew home except for skeleton crew.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because everybody was starting to get really excited about the possibilities of doing some cruising. But I'm wondering, why is it that everybody's been waiting for an election to start doing some test cruises?
The whole thing, if you look at some channels, you look at some people out there, they're blaming the CDC for everything. And to me, they had, since October, they were given the availability to get ships ready and try and do some test cruises. And I don't understand why these lines don't take one ship, and make it one of these ships that have considered green, able to and put it out there as a test cruise, after they do all the. I just don't get that. I think they know behind the scenes that, there's not going to be sailing for a while. Opinions?
I agree.
I thought because of all the vaccines going on that there's going to be something positive, but now with NCL saying what they did yesterday, that makes me think what's going on that we don't know.
I think it's a variance that are causing a lot of the issues now. They're not sure if these vaccines are going to be able to handle those. My wife got her second shot, and the big thing that they've been telling us now is that, which I didn't realize, when you get your vaccine, it helps you so you don't get ultra sick, but it does not prevent you. There's nothing to prove that it prevents you from passing it on to someone else, or getting sick yourself at a lesser rate. So
there was a case. There was
well,
a case. Is that me that's echoing? I can hear echo.
Well, I've got Tyler down there. I'm going to bring Tyler up to join us.
While you're bringing Tyler up, I want to thank everybody. I actually have to run, but I want to thank you and say goodbye to everybody.
And I just want to say before Brad, that we're under negotiations now, but we're hoping to maybe put something up sports related in the future. So thank you for joining us, Brad. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And it was nice meeting everybody.
You too. Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Right.
See ya.
Whoops. Oh, there he is. He slid over. You ready to come up, Tyler? Okay, got the thumbs.
Hey.
Tyler?
Hey, Tyler, how you going, buddy?
Before we go on with this discussion, Tyler, tell us a little bit about your channel.
So I'm Tyler. Rebranded the channel, my second channel, to the Cruise Junkie. This year, of course, we can't be cruising this year. I personally don't think it's going to be happening until later this year. So in the meanwhile, I'm focusing on ship spotting content. So I'm slowly but surely focusing on heading to Port Canaveral, Tampa, ships do head to Tampa and hopefully be able to ship spot some ships being there. Of course, some ships including maybe the Disney Fantasy, Disney Dream, Royal Caribbean if they're coming back, Carnival. Whenever ships come back to Canaveral, my plan is to be there to ship spot them. On my main channel, The Tyler Show, and on my second channel, I'm focusing on YouTube Shorts because, of course, that's a big thing here with YouTube. So I'm trying to focus on YouTube Shorts short term again, but long term this year, focused on the cruising niche with ship spotting content this year.
Great idea, Tyler. I like that.
Quickly, I'd just like to welcome in Jonathan Short from the Traveling Shorts and his other half, the 6 Traveling Shorts. Graham Patterson, we saw you. Let's see. One little thing from, did you see Tony's story on Friday? NCL stated they want all crew vaccinated, speculated they would send home because they are not vaccinated, and said they can be ready to sail in 120 days. Yeah, that was his theory. I've heard a lot of other theories since, but we won't go there. So go ahead. Anyone want to throw in on that, the latest on NCL from what they've heard?
So my personal opinions on the cancellations of NCL. Another thing with NCL to keep in mind with their ships is, of course, none of them are in the U.S. and even taking part of the CDC's framework. So again, the framework for CDC, which of course, if you listen to Arnold Donald, which you guys made point earlier in the show, which you brought up with why they're not doing test cruises, Arnold Donald come out publicly and said that the CDC hasn't given all the technical instructions, because it's true they haven't. I actually looked up the CDC's website, which of course is public information. And according to the CDC, the webpage, they have instructions for cruise lines to follow. However, they're not every single detail like we have over in Singapore with cruising restarting, or even in Europe. They're not exactly every single detail. So I think NCL is, again, they know they can't sail anytime soon. So they, of course, know it's not worth the time or money to just pay to have these crew basically sitting around on certain ships in the Caribbean or even in Europe, because they know they can't sail anytime soon. So that's the thing. And then with the whole vaccination that this could send the ships people back to their home countries, it would make sense as again, not sure how the countries are going to be doing it with vaccinating foreign people. I know down here in Florida, if you're not from Florida, the governor says you can't have it. So it will be interesting to see with crew, because, again, what the countries classified crew as essential workers for ships. Again, the crew change thing has been a really big issue with after all whole shipping companies, from cargo to cruise ships. Crew changes during this pandemic has been one of the biggest problems for sure.
Now, you've actually seen a couple of the cruise ships out on the harbor, right? Or out in the water.
Yeah. I just went to Port Canaveral yesterday to go ship spot the Explorer of the Seas and the Disney Fantasy.
Nice. Welcome in, Roy and Becky Travels. Yeah, so I guess it's such a mixed match right now. You know, what they're doing with the cruise. They spent millions of dollars bringing these crews back. There's a couple of people I actually communicate with, you know, through YouTube on this that work on the cruise ships, and they hadn't even been told. We're getting news before they are, which is kind of scary. They weren't even told yet. She had gotten her training and was supposed to be coming back to work on the Carnival cruise ships, and now they haven't said the same thing as NCL. So maybe they still plan on doing something, but it makes you think, because haven't the cruise ships basically followed each other? I mean, none of them have gone off on their own. It seems like one does it, one breaks the ice, and the others follow.
I have a friend who works for MSC, and he said there's no word. He actually was told that he was going back to work in November, the 1st of November, but that was canceled. And so he has heard nothing about starting back up.
That's what Chris, when I did my interview with Chris, the Flying Scotsman, he said, we hear stuff before they do. So,
yeah. I don't know if it's intentional or not, but they seem to keep them in the dark a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
The whole test cruises thing, as I'm saying, it's a long path. I see cruising happening sometime at the earliest September. It's the ports are ready, like Canaveral and Miami, they're ready to go. However, there's big factors we have to look into. We have to look into the factor of the Bahamas. They're not actually at phase 4, which allows cruise ships to come to the Bahamas. So there's another factor that they can't go to the islands yet. So again, the U.S. has of course, you can't have the Jones Act, which prohibits ships going to not foreign ports, but sailing around the U.S. So there's one of the big problems why cruise-led ships can't even do these test sailings, because they would break one of the laws if they even had passengers on board.
Right. Welcome thanks for joining us, Kayla's Aquatics. Go ahead.
Question about is it Royal Caribbean out of Barbados? Because they're not out of an American port. Are they starting up or anything? Like, is there any word on that? Because I heard they're going to go there, but I don't know if they're starting. Yeah,
Barbados is later this year. So Barbados is on the Grandeur of the Seas, which is one of their smaller ships. As actually a matter of fact, it's their oldest ship in the fleet. And again, that's supposed to be happening December of this year. No word yet again, because Grandeur right now is in a warm layup in the British Virgin Islands. So no word yet again if they're resuming sailings out of Barbados. They're planning to, right? But I personally, if they don't see cruising happening here in the U.S. and around, maybe December or something, if that doesn't happen, I don't think Barbados will happen. Just due to the matter of fact, it's a smaller ship, less balconies. And you know how everyone with the whole balcony situation, they want balconies only. So it will be interesting. But you are right, Larry, that is not part of the CDC's jurisdiction. So that who knows, it could be played out with the CDC possibly not getting involved with the Barbados. But remember, Barbados, we had that Sea Dream ship that had the case on board.
Oh, that's right too. Yes.
So the question I've got for you guys is, what's the likelihood of them actually repealing the Jones Act?
I say very unlikely.
Won't never happen. Yeah.
It won't happen.
We opened such a can of worms.
Why?
I don't know how they could go back.
Why? I mean, what's the big deal? You're talking to somebody who doesn't understand U.S. politics and history here. So teach me.
I'll go jump in with it. The Jones Act basically prohibits U.S. Ships, basically foreign flagships, I should say, from sailing to from Seattle to Juneau, Skagway, and then Ketchikan, and then all the way back to Seattle without stopping in a foreign port. If they did just sailed from all those ports, of course, Seattle, Ketchikan, Skagway, Juneau, and then sailed right back to Seattle without stopping in Canada, they would break the law, and the ship could be fined, again, lots of money. I think I read that up to about $100,000. I forget how much it was, but a lot of money fined. Or they could possibly, again, get either the ship arrested, which happened before with Carnival back in the day. One of their ships got arrested by the government for some reason. But, again, the Jones Act prohibits ships from sailing to the basically from Los Angeles to Hawaii, for example, and back, or from Seattle to Alaska. That's the problem with the Jones Act, is we can't sail from U.S. ports to U.S. ports without stopping in a foreign port such as Canada.
It's a taxpayer thing too, right? Because they're foreign country companies, so they're not paying taxes, cheaper rate, and giving less salaries. But the flip side of that is they're not considered under the American laws, so they can't do it.
So if the ship was U.S. flagged, it could do that trip, right?
There's one ship that is. There's a ship, and Tyler, you probably know more about this than I do, but there's one ship, Spirit of America or something like that, that goes from California to Hawaii.
That's the Hawaii itinerary. Yeah, Spirit.
Yeah, and that's fully American, and they pay the minimum wages and taxes and all that stuff, and that's what you have to do.
That's Pride of America, isn't it? It's called Pride of America.
Is that what it is, Pride of America? Okay.
Yeah, I knew.
I'm going to jump in on the Pride of America. Fun fact, most of you didn't know, this ship technically couldn't even meet the Jones Act because it was built in Germany. Half of it was. The fun fact was the project, NCL bought over the project when it went bankrupt back in, I believe, 2006 or something. It was a company working with the federal government to build the first ever American mega ship. Well, of course, that fell through. They only built the bow of the ship. And so NCL bought the project, sent the project to be built over in the major shipyard in Germany that builds all the ships nowadays. And then that ship, so again, due to that ship, it didn't meet all the requirements. Again, the requirements for the Jones Act, the Jones Act requirements is it has to be 100% built in the U.S. It has to be 100% registered in the U.S. and 100% crewed by U.S. crew. And again, the Pride of America only meets about 75% because it wasn't 100% built in the U.S. So that's an issue with the Pride of America. Now, luckily, NCL went to Congress or someone and lobbied, and they got their ship waived to do just Hawaiian-based itineraries, along with the Norwegian, I believe, Jewel, and then the Norwegian Pride of Aloha, which is now the Norwegian Sun. So this is a fun fact.
Okay, now Mary Ellen Dillon says, I guess the ship is based just in Hawaii. It does not sail to the mainland, Pride of America. So I guess I'm wrong. It doesn't leave from California then. It's just between the islands. Is that correct?
Hawaii,
Yes.
Hawaii itinerary going around. Hawaii based.
Just
We
the
have-
You
islands.
can only legally do Hawaii.
Hawaii.
So there is none. Even if they left from, could they leave from California another ship if they qualified, hit all the qualifications you said, Tyler, and went all the way to Alaska, say, and back?
It has to stop in Canada or Mexico.
You know that act couldn't fly here in Oz. Because what would happen here is somebody would kick up a stink to say that's a restriction of trade. And because it's a restriction of trade, all the trade unions would jump in and go, no, that can't happen. So everybody would kick up such a stink here. It just wouldn't fly.
Yeah, that must. How many years? Anyone know where that goes back? How many years? I mean, that's an old law. But you're not going to change it during these 2 years of the pandemic. I'm sure this is something that if they looked at, it would take years and years to change it.
Yeah, by the time they actually do get it, if it does go to Congress, the Senate, or something, we'll probably be back cruising by then.
Right.
And
Okay, here's a question.
and I don't think it will change because, like you said, it's been so long ago that there's been a lot of different administrations and they haven't even touched it. So
Mhm.
So here's a question. If the rule came, no jab, no cruise tomorrow, right?
Yeah, this is interesting. It's interesting. Mary Ellen Dillon said, my Carnival Miracle cruise will sail Long Beach to Hawaii around the island, stopping once in Mexico. So that's a reverse way to do it. I have not heard of that. I've heard of Canada being that country on the West Coast.
So
The problem, though, with that is it's a really long distance from California to Mexico to Alaska. It's really far, so it wouldn't be you wouldn't be worth the money to spend the ship all the way up to Alaska from California.
some
Yeah,
said it
okay,
would
right.
be enough money to send a
Even
ship
though
for-
I'm Canadian, I don't hear too much about the Jones Act, and I don't know a lot about it. So when you guys are talking about Canada, it's like I don't hear too much talk about how that works. So yeah, I don't know. That Jones Act's really strange to me. Like it's American. Like I always thought waters are international. Like, and so like if you're going from America up to another American state, why do you have to stop in Canada? That just does not make sense to me.
Yeah, they're basically protecting the workers, the Americans. They want to keep the money in the country, and since these companies are not paying taxes,
Yeah.
why should they get the benefit? I mean, that's a theory behind it. I'm not saying which way I go, but that's a theory behind it. Welcome.
But how are they protecting the workers if they're forcing them to stop into Canada on the way up to Alaska?
Correct.
And I've always wondered how long a stop they have to make. I mean, could they technically pull into a Bahamian port or a Canadian port and just sit there for 4 hours? I mean, what qualifies you as going to another country? Does anyone know?
No.
I read something on Cruise Critic, which you can't trust those boards, but according to someone, what they said was that if someone did eventually do that, the government would shut it down immediately and say, no, you didn't actually dock at the port and let people get off. So they probably would shut it down immediately, according to someone on the internet. So can't trust them, but that's what I heard about that the government most likely shut down that loophole if that was actually cruise lines were going to do that.
Right. Yeah, and you make a point too. It'd probably be something like they have to at least put the gangways down and people have to exit the ship or something to make it
I was
up.
about to say, I think you have to have at least one passenger step foot off of, to another country's territory. I think that's probably what.
So here's a question for you guys. a flight going from, say, Florida to, say, Skagway, an aircraft doing that flight, how come they don't abide by the Jones Act?
Yeah. Why don't they have to land in Canada first and then fly up to Alaska?
Correct.
It seems like the airlines have a whole different set of rules. Anyways, if you notice, even during this, all the rules that have been put on the cruise lines, and it seems like a lot of the airlines are exempt from them. So,
yeah, finally the CDC made the airlines get everyone tested when they come back. So that's finally one thing that the CDC put with the airlines.
And Canada yesterday just canceled all flights from Canada going down to Mexico and the Caribbean and stuff. So no Canadians are going to Mexico or Dominican or any of them for a while.
And that was a big loophole. Everyone's been doing those all-inclusives in Mexico. I'm wondering, well, there's an issue with them getting back, right? Don't they have to have tests to get back before they get on the plane to come to the U.S. from Mexico?
I have a friend that's in Turkey right now. He's actually in a really big bubble, but he found a loophole, which I don't want to say publicly. But he has found a loophole to get back into Canada that it's not as drastic. He's actually been gone since October, and he's getting close to losing his citizenship in Canada if he doesn't get back here soon. And they're forcing him, he's got to go there. And then now coming back to Canada, you must quarantine in a hotel at your own expense for 3 days and get tested. If you test positive, you have to go to a government quarantine facility. If not, you still got to do the extra 2-week quarantine at home. But you got to pay for all these tests and everything. So like they're very expensive. Like over in Turkey, it's like $100 or something for a test. And it's just putting so much pressure, but he's found a way, and he's already talked to the border and all that kind of stuff, the CBSA and stuff. And they said, you can do it this way. So, but it's still a loophole, but hey, there's been so many loopholes to deal with how to travel, but hey, you want to travel, it's your own choice.
They just don't make it fun to travel. That's right now.
No.
It's terrible. If anyone wants to come up, I just put the link out there again in the chat, and I'll keep an eye for you in the basement.
Actually, John, I'm going to switch over to my computer from my phone. I can barely see you guys.
Okay.
I'm still thinking John's in prison, and it's making my heart just,
I don't want that to happen to your heart, so make sure you do it. Just like to quickly say, welcome in Minute Tour.
Okay.
Mr. and Mrs. Mr. and Mrs. Memories, Lifestyles, and Adventure. Thank you for coming in. I don't think I got any Juma Brown. Don't think I missed any. Oh, geez. How did I miss you? Nurse Nancy is down there.
She's so naughty.
She is naughty.
Terribly naughty, that one.
So the link is out there. We have one more spot.
Nancy got a second jab.
Let's see. Let me get that up. What we're doing today, guys, is a pop-up. Just sitting around. My wife left me, went to work, and I'm sitting around. I figured I'd pop up and try it. I've never done one of these pop-ups before, and I thank everyone who's come up, and I thank everyone that's popped into the chat. So more input. Did you, Tyler? I noticed you're okay. You're unmuted now. Other travel news or discussion?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of news. Azamar, they were sold to Silver Sea all the way over there Azamar, was sold to Sycamore Partners. They invested heavily into, of course, getting the ships ready. They bought a brand new ship, actually. That was news if you've heard that one already. Plus, they hired the former CEO of Holland America Line to be one of the chairmen on the board, which was, I believe, Orlando Ashfield, I think. Not sure.
Okay.
They actually, as a Mara, I was surprised it didn't sell for as much as more as it sold for. I guess during the pandemic, they were just glad to get rid of it. Royal was glad to throw it off, but I was surprised it didn't sell for more. Well, they got a heck of a deal.
Julia's got a ship to sail on.
Now, Blaine, you've taken you've one of the smarter ones among us here, and you've jumped in your RV and seen places Are you taking just weekend trips, or are you taking some big trips?
We haven't gone anywhere really in our RV. We'll probably go. We're hopefully planning something, maybe late spring to go, but nothing. We haven't gone yet.
Because you did not take that down to Disney, right? That was hotels.
No, we stayed off property there at one of the hotels. So yeah, we definitely want to hopefully in the near future go check out some national parks and different places between here and Montana where my brother-in-law lives. So
Nurse Nancy would like to, he's interested in coming up. Nancy, I put the link out there again.
Nurse Nancy can only come up if she does a shoey.
Uh-oh.
That might keep her off. You should have cornered her with that once she got up here.
She says she's got to get purdied up.
See, if you don't have to worry about prettying up.
I think that's so funny. You guys notice that when we're watching different YouTubes. It seems like the rest of us will just sit here with our old football T-shirts and hats and everything else, and it's a whole different issue.
Or Papa Mozo or someone come up without a shirt on. Or...
Yeah, he goes the other extreme. You're right.
Hang on, but there's no one like Papa Mozo. Come on.
Yeah.
So many people try and imitate him, but there's no way you can actually be like him.
Larry, I didn't hear the beep. I hope you haven't been down there long.
No, it's okay.
Larry, the house has changed.
Pardon?
The house has changed.
Yeah, he got a new. He went to a new location real quick.
I think he didn't like the piano.
He looked very comfortable a little while ago.
Yeah, I was in bed. I wanted to ask Tyler, did you get an upgrade or something here, Tyler?
Huh? Can you repeat that again?
Did you get an upgrade?
Yeah, no, actually, I'm just using a different location today and a different computer. The internet's still pretty terrible down in the editing suite.
I hear you.
Nurse Nancy's been banned from shoeys. So.
Hi, Nancy.
Nancy.
You can come up here shoeless, Nancy. No problem there. Yeah, I didn't notice that. That's right, Tyler. Nice and clear signal.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I like John's background there. It looks nice with the snow in the mountains. And
yeah, where are you, John?
We did a thing on our Wednesday live, and we did the top, not top, but 23 or 17 unusual hotels. And this backdrop is one of them. It's a tube that hangs out over the side of a cliff, and that's the view you get. So, but there's
I watched that stream that you did, and I can tell you now there are some places that you put on there that you won't get me a hope's chance in hell of being 5 centimeters close to that.
Sound like my wife.
Are you afraid of heights, Sean?
I am, Larry.
Wow, that's good to know.
Uh-oh.
So when you come here, we are going on the bridge, right?
Yeah.
Does that ship have a zip line?
I don't have no fear of heights.
Yeah, I don't either, but my wife does. So
I used to climb mountains, hike mountains like what's in behind John. So I'm not scared.
I learned how to have fear of heights when I was doing some training as a reserve fireman, and I was on the end of the hose, and one of the instructors figured that I was being properly backed up by a person behind me, and I wasn't, and he turned the power on to full whack, and there I was floating on top of the vehicle that I was on. From that point on,
sorry for laughing, Sean, but it sounds funny.
It was.
It is now, anyway.
Yeah. Now it is.
I can tell you quite honestly, that scared the living daylights out of me.
So Sean, you don't go up to the Lido deck and do the sail away party and look over, up from the top deck and look over into the water without getting sick?
I'll do that because I've got barriers that are right up in front of me. Yeah. Right?
You can hold.
Yeah. You'll have some people with you too, there, Sean.
Yeah. Okay, Larry. Okay, Larry. Just don't let go of my feet, would you?
Tyler, have you ever been on the zip line on the ship?
No, I'm afraid of
Yeah.
that. That's 9 stories.
That would something that I would thought would be right up your alley, Tyler.
Yeah.
Next time.
Okay. Gotta have a video of that.
Folks, I'm going to step out. I've got to get ready for work. Awesome spending time with you today.
Sean, thank you very much for joining us.
Sean, I still want to tell you that it still looks like a prison behind you from here.
Hey, I'm comfortable for you to have that opinion, Larry.
Hey, Sean, one quick question before you go. You weren't on last night, correct? It's not that I just couldn't find you.
No, we weren't on last night. The reason was I had some karate things that I needed to take care of. So I wasn't around, and we just had the rest of the day off after when I came back. So we weren't on yesterday or last night or Friday night or whenever. This time zone throws me. No, but we will be back on next week.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for joining us, Sean. Tell
Sean.
Alana we said hi.
Have an awesome evening.
Funny story with zip lining here, John, in Canada during the 2010 Olympics. They had a zip line downtown. I don't know what they called. I can't remember what they called it, but it was just where everybody congregated during the Olympics. And they had this zip line that up. It was an 8-hour wait to get on the zip line. It was well worth the wait. Like I did the 8-hour wait. I have pictures of me waiting and stuff like that. And I was all ready. Got the helmet on. I was right at the edge. It was my turn. And I'm thinking, oh, I'm going to take a great video. And I get to the other end and I didn't press the. I'm sure a lot of people have done this, but I have the picture of me standing right there ready to go. And I was going to click record and get the video of it. But it was zip lines. I would do that in a heartbeat on that cruise.
I think St. Thomas, if I'm not incorrect here, it has the biggest zip line in the world or steepest. Something like that.
Martin.
Sadly enough, I'm a little overweight for all those things. Now, this was back when I was, a little lighter.
Yeah,
actually, those zip lines hold a lot of people, from what I understand.
They do, but there is a weight limit, and I weigh 360 right now, and I'm over the weight limit.
I wouldn't be able to do it either. Probably it wouldn't be a zip line when I got harnessed in. My feet would be dragging the ground probably.
Same here, Blaine. We're both the same, Blaine, but I think I'm a little bit more heavier than you, though.
I'd be crawling up the hill instead of doing zip lining. It'd be almost like a hike for me.
Have you done any kind of zip lining, Blaine?
Nope, I haven't.
In the past, no?
We do have a zip lining activity place on Hilton Head Island, and I haven't done it or anything. So,
where's this?
Hilton Head Island, South Carolina.
Oh, okay.
How is that place? How is Hilton Head?
It's good. That's where 90% of my clients are, where I work and stuff. So yeah, it's good during the summer. Usually around we have the golf tournament each year, the RBC Heritage, and so it's in April, the week after the Masters. Usually from that point all the way to probably Labor Day. That's our busy time. That's our tourist season. So.
Now, have you been working from home?
Yep, I've been working from home since the pandemic, so hopefully it'll stay that way, and I'll have more flexibility to travel as long as I've got internet and a computer.
That's what I told the manager that I was talking to yesterday when I had the interview for a travel agent. And I said, "This is great. I can travel the world now. I can work from home, travel anywhere, and still work." Yeah, hey, I'm happy with that.
Yeah. I think you're going to see a lot of that even when this stuff gets settled, if you want to call it that. The money they could save on renting buildings and offices.
We've got our building up for stuff right now. So because I think that's one of the key takeaways from a lot of businesses is, hey, we don't need a brick and mortar place to keep going as long as we got internet and You know, you got that, you know, like Dropbox and all those cloud services, you know, that you can use to save everything, you know.
You got the Zoom meetings, you got the drop boxes,
Yeah. So,
you got the internet. That's it. That's all you need.
got all you need right there. So
You really can. And then they can save money. The advantages of money that they save on their end. How far is Saluda, North Carolina from you, Wayne?
oh shoot, I don't know.
Jonathan Short says a huge canopy zip line there.
Saluda? I've never heard that name before.
Saluda.
It's about a 3.5 hour drive to Saluda, 247 miles.
So I wonder, are the Shorts in North Carolina, or is that just?
They're in North Carolina. Yeah.
Someone I think just popped in. Finally heard the beep on that one. Poor Larry was down there. Oh, Nurse Nancy ready to go, guys.
Hi, you guys. Hey.
Welcome up.
Good to see you.
Before we go on, Nancy, could you just tell everyone a little bit about your site and you, and then we'll.
Absolutely. I just felt like you needed a little bit of female influence here.
We always do.
I'm just kidding. So you guys, I'm Nautical Nurse Nancy. And sometimes people call, I was Nurse Nancy on my channel, and then I changed it to Nautical Nurse Nancy. I'm not as naughty if you spell it the wrong way, but I am Nauti. I cannot wait to cruise again. Yep, feeling naughty. There you go. John and Nancy won some coasters, right?
We sure did. We got them a few days ago.
Yep.
Great.
Try those out with some moisture. They're absorbent. They're super absorbent. I ordered a few, and I'm surprised how small they are. They're quite small, but they fit into the car.
Right. You need that small to fit in there.
Yeah.
And you send two, which is great. We're not fighting now who gets to carry in that car. So.
There you go.
Yeah, I got mine in my car, so they work out.
I sure appreciate your channel, J&N Travels. I'm always getting, you guys are such supporters of so many of the cruise community, and so as all you guys are. I really appreciate, that we share the love in this cruise community, and I love that about the cruise community. We just all can't wait to cruise again.
Right.
I'm honored to sit beside you, Nancy.
Oh, I'm so happy to. Let me give you a hug here. Here's my hug to you.
Big virtual hug.
Oh, we love
But
Nancy.
I appreciate what every one of you bring to the community. Really do. You're each so unique, and I just think that it's so good to get those unique perspectives. I think I'm the world's slowest editor, so.
I just finished your 3:00 in the morning. I finished your last live, and you just got back from vacation.
Yes. Yep.
Tell us about that a little bit.
Oh my gosh. We just got back from the Wisconsin Dells. We had a great time there. Kind of a mix between activity and relaxation. And Anthony really got to unwind. So that was great. The wilderness where we were has 3 huge water parks, and then we were at Wilderness on the lake, and it's on Lake Delton. It actually has a separate, smaller water park area as well. Huge areas with water slides, tons of water slides. They have this hurricane ride that shoots you out into this big funnel, and you're practically falling off the tube, and you're rocking back and forth in this big funnel until you get to the bottom. Tons of fun. A lot of walking with those. And then we did a high ropes course. We did a mini golf that was in black light. We had a class that didn't cost actually that much to do all these activities. We did laser tag, and Naomi could be part of laser tag. Our daughter just had surgery, open chest surgery, and she could actually be part of that. She couldn't do a lot of the water stuff, but it's fun. It was a family vacation, and it was just a ton of fun. It did make me think of the water slides. Made me kind of feel like a cruise ship, a little, fun
Right.
vacation. We've been on the Horizon and the Breeze that have the high ropes courses, so that's kind of similar to that. So a lot of fun. Oh, we did an escape room. We did not pass it, but it was a ton of fun. It was much harder than I thought it would be.
Nancy, I haven't had a chance to check out any of this series. I'm curious though. You're in Wisconsin.
Yes.
Are you anything to go to a place with slides and stuff? Is it an indoor place, I'm assuming?
It's all indoor. Yep, it's all indoor. There's huge structures. They're just.
It just sounds really strange here, knowing you're from Wisconsin and it's winter and you're at a water park.
Yep.
We have one in Alberta. It's in the mall, West Edmonton Mall, an indoor water park. Yeah.
Yeah, they're giant. They're just huge areas. In fact, this water dome area that we were in has a wave pool. It really makes you feel like you're at the beach. You have these loungers by this wave pool. They have sunlights coming, all the entire structure is like a big greenhouse, and you can feel the sun coming in. It was glorious.
That's a big thing down in the U.S. It seems now is we have a thing called the Great Wolf Lodge that I think is franchising out, and it sounds very similar to that.
Yep, they have a Great Wolf in Wisconsin Dells as well. We have like 5 big water parks in the Dells area.
That's great. And don't you have a trip or still planned for, is it Mexico?
Yes, we are going to Mexico. If we are still allowed, we'll go. So as long as the government doesn't keep us from going, we're going to go.
What about getting back?
Canada just stopped everyone going to
I heard that, Larry. I'm so sorry. That's just, oh my goodness. I mean, then you just have to visit your local sites. I don't know. It's so
Nancy,
frustrating.
where I live, I have nothing, and that's the hard part about doing travel. I can't get out to anything. We're actually non-essential travel only. I have to stay in my small little square box. Although we're going next Valentine's and Family Day, which is February 15th. We are going to see my mother-in-law to get out of town. You know what? I'm going. I'm not waiting. I need to get out of this friggin' city.
Yeah,
it's not
mentally
it's
good.
not law. So they say it's essential travel only. I could go, but so I'm going anyway.
That's frustrating. I hear your frustration.
But it is what it is. But I get to see you guys all do your thing. It's okay.
And it's nice that we can connect this way, at least with fellow travelers. It is pretty cool to, do this kind of connection.
What is the date you're leaving?
We are leaving on February 19th. So
19th.
Fingers crossed. So in 20 days, more or less, we decided not to go back on our diet because it's like,
I don't know how you guys can do these diets on trips. Every time I travel, it's gotta, it gotta eat out. Gotta do.
I know when you're traveling, it's off. We don't diet on vacation. It's vacation.
Right. Absolutely. I just like to thank Tyler for coming up. His laptop kicked him out. So if you want to come back up, Tyler, at some point, just let me know. But
so are you going to the same resort, Nancy?
No, different resort. So we're going to the Rio Palace Peninsula. So it's the same resort that Derek and Gregory, D&G Explorers, and Wanda Christopher Food had gone to. So we're going to that big one that has a big. It's like an upside down U. I think it's a letter N, really.
Is that the one?
Yeah, you say that anyways.
Built right into it, Nancy.
What was that?
Is that the one with the dolphin park built right into it?
I don't know that it has a dolphin park in it, Larry.
There is a resort down there that it's like you're explaining, but they had a dolphin park, but it might be a different one.
Maybe it might be. I don't know much about it. We're going to go and experience it. We're trying to kind of.
I can do that. I want to stop seeing places where I go and as experiences go, but I dive right in and watch everybody's videos.
You're gonna get there. You're gonna get there. Hopefully with the vaccinations and working through it, it's so slow, isn't it? It just seems so slow.
I thought it was gonna go quick. Now that they got the no,
takes a while to roll it all out.
Still trying to get Larry on his first cruise ship. How many have you canceled, Larry?
I've actually only had one, John. One, and it's actually in 20-something days. The 27th, February 27th was supposed to be my first one, but we're now rebooked for January 29th, 2022.
Well, that's why we are doing all these different vacations, is because these are all cruises that were canceled, and I have time. We have time off, so I'd rather not waste my time off. So this was supposed to be our panorama back-to-back in February that got canceled.
When is your Hawaii one? You had a Hawaii one.
We do have one coming up January next year. So
it's next year, okay.
Yeah. Hopefully that will happen. I don't know. Who knows? You know, not after so many cancellations, you just kind of go with the flow.
Well, my thoughts were because of the vaccine coming out that it's going to start basically in the fall. That's what I thought. But now that you're hearing NCL sending their employees back, that made me think something's going on that I don't know.
Yeah, that's so frustrating. We're just hanging in there, hanging tight, and doing our best.
Mexico before, Nancy, twice. I got married there.
Yes.
Yeah, mine were here. We went to the Grand Sunset Princesses, where we've always been, only places we've been, like stayed at the resorts. But I'm liking where are you guys? I get to see how everything is.
Eventually, my videos get out eventually.
I've seen your videos. I've seen your lives.
Nancy, where's your ship leaving out of? Is it California, or is it just are you landing in Hawaii?
In Hawaii, we come out of San Diego, 15-day. We're supposed to be with Para DJ. We'll see how that, that goes. So that is January 8th, I believe, next year. So I can't book any more cruises in 2022. It's jam packed. We kept on pushing all our cruises forward.
So did you update your ship app or shipmate?
Yeah, my shipmate is up to date.
Okay, now I have another look.
So I'm naughty Nurse Nancy on shipmate. So NAUTI.
Well, I've had you since day one, actually.
Oh yeah. What about you guys? You have any? I kind of missed some of the talk. Do you guys have any trips coming up or cruises that you were supposed to take?
Go ahead, Blaine.
We're thinking of doing some travels in our RV, maybe late spring, but early summer. So we'll see how that goes. But I don't have any cruises planned until November of 2022, which is Thanksgiving. So that's what.
Are you on the celebration with us?
Yep, I am.
Good.
Yep, and then our next one will be the Vloggers Cruise, January 29th, 2023. So
we're on that one too. And I know that's a lot of people, it's always challenging not to be up in everybody's face with the camera all the time. But you don't have to do that full time, and everybody's viewpoint is so different. So that's kind of what I'm trying to show on the group cruise kind of stuff. There's a bunch of vloggers that were on the group cruise, and we still did fine. Now the vlogger extravaganza is going to be crazy. Mary Ellen is going to Hawaii together. Yes. Oh, it's January 9th out of Long Beach. Well, it'll be interesting to see how it all changes around. I didn't know that, Mary Ellen. Well, I'm just waiting for us to get out there.
Yours is January 8th out of San Diego.
I thought so.
Yeah.
But maybe it has changed around. I got to go digging. Mary Ellen might be right because she stays up on things. I'm just waiting to get out there, right?
Are you on the same cruise as Mary Ellen?
I think so. I'll have to look it up. They might have changed some things around.
I'm sure that's going to happen a few times.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my first cruise is January 29th, 2022 out of Miami. So
nice. January is a nice time.
I was looking at that one, Nancy, for Hawaii, because we want to go to Hawaii. We'll just have to fly over there. It's actually pretty cheap for us to where I live here on the West Coast. It's average price is $400 Canadian return to Hawaii. I don't know how that's pricing to you guys, but for us here in Canada, compared to what it is to travel in Canada, $400 to Hawaii, that's like peanuts, like nothing. And so we're still waiting to do the Hawaiian thing. So
then you have to work out all the lodging and everything. Yeah.
Airbnbs, they're simple.
Airbnb is not a bad way to go. You get a variety of places with that. Some can be better than others, of course.
We were going to get married in Hawaii. What it was is I wanted to get married in Mexico. Then I found out that it was really hard. You had to go through all these different hoops to get married in Mexico. And then we switched, and I started doing research on Hawaii, and that didn't work out. And then I found out, you know what? Why don't we just do it this way? So we got married. We had 2 services. We got married May 25th in a Salvation Army chapel, which is the traditional church part and minister doing their thing. And then we had a beach wedding in Mexico, which was our symbolical wedding, and that's our wedding date is January 10th or June 10th. So
I love your pictures from that wedding that you're from.
I actually I am going to be putting out the video. Like, if you notice with my videos, they're all about what do you call it? Memories. That's all it is right now, and that's all I have. And I could have cut them up and edited them differently, but I wanted for that. But eventually, I'm going to start creating videos like everybody else is, doing, and I'm learning and all that. But I am going to put my wedding video out there, and it's. I'm just going to put them in their own little playlist for memories.
That's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all, Larry.
That's coming. I'm like you, Nancy. It takes me a long time to edit. These shorts are pretty easy.
Yeah, shorts. You can't make them too long. I learned a whole lot about shorts. I put out my first one yesterday, and I put it in the wrong format. I thought I had it. I had, done it up and down instead of side to side, but how it loads is the thing. And so I had to actually save it to my phone sideways and then have my phone flip it. It was just really funny. Oh, Sherry's cat was typing.
I was wondering what she was trying to say earlier.
I saw that. It's like, huh?
I figured
It
it was
looks like a little winky bird.
Where is it?
The new cat language.
There it is, right there. That was her cat.
Oh, yeah, that's nice. You guys, give Sherry a bunch of views. She's almost to her requirement to monetize. So just giving her a plug out there.
Yeah, you're right. If you can play her playlist, that's the big thing.
Yeah, definitely. Blaine, are you concerned at all about the popularity of RVing nowadays with reservations and all of that?
No, not really. I don't think so.
Do you just play it by ear then? Or
yeah, we just play it by ear. Exactly. Yeah. And a lot of times what we'll do when we go, we'll try to do a lot of national parks, but we're going to eventually get to my brother-in-law's out in Montana. And so he has a place that we hopefully can park, and they have a couple campgrounds there and stuff. But yeah, it just depends on where you go to. A lot of the bigger cities and stuff, campgrounds are pretty full these days, but with all the, like you said, the popularity and stuff. But yeah, we just play it by ear, and if we have to, we'll find a Cracker Barrel and kind of boondock almost. Hey, what? Hey, you got your home on wheels, and you're at a Cracker Barrel, so you got food you can eat. So it's like, hey, that's a win-win. So
we have a fifth wheel too.
Yeah.
But we haven't taken it out lately because we got spoiled with all the other vacations.
Blaine, explain to me what boondocking is exactly.
It's basically, off grid. You're not hooked up to anything, and you have to have make sure you got your water tanks filled up and everything. So a lot of people, like out in Arizona and stuff, they'll have their solar. They'll have solar hooked up to their RV so they can, get electricity that way.
So you don't have to be in a campground?
What's that?
You don't have to be in a campground or anything?
No, because most of the campgrounds, as you know, will have 30 amp hookups, or like ours, and then Nancy's is the same way. It's a 50 amp hookup. So, yeah, when you're boondocking, you're just basically away from everything. You don't have anything, and you
use the propane. You use you use your water tank.
Yeah, water, and then they have.
Is it designated spots for it? I mean, you just can't pull into a rest area on the side of the road, can you?
You can if you're just passing through, kind of like a trucker or whatever, and stay the night or and keep on going. But like Arizona. Well, I shouldn't just say Arizona. It's called BLM. It's the Bureau of Land Management. They have a lot of boondocking places around the country. So you just basically go out and it's an open field and pick a spot and camp there for how many ever days. And now if you do BLM land, it's you can only stay at one location every 2 weeks, I believe it is. And then you have to go to a different location, and then you can come back to that same location in 2 weeks. But you can't stay stationary in those Bureau of Land Management areas.
It used to
What,
be
you only allow
Walmart
one night?
parking lot too.
What's that, Nancy?
I thought that Walmart parking lots used to allow that.
Yeah, Walmart. There's a lot of them. I know our Walmart. Now I don't know how strict they are. I don't know if this is a policy that came from Arkansas. The corporate that said you have to put signs up or not. But our Walmart actually says no overnight parking. Now I can't tell you how many times I've gone there and seen 2 or 3 RVs or maybe a truck parked there overnight. So I don't know how strict they are. I'm sure they let that be kind of government. Kind of let their own, local Walmarts kind of handle that how they want to, I guess.
Yeah, ours would allow it too. That's why it wouldn't let me to that question, because I had heard they did it at our local one, and I think a year ago they put signs up and they don't allow it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah,
I've
they
never
have
gone
signs here where I
overnight.
live at our Walmart. Same thing. Yeah, no overnight parking.
Yep. Hey, you guys, I got to get going. I wanted to just pop in here quick and give you some support.
Thank you for joining us, Nancy.
Good to see you as always.
Bye, Nancy.
Nice seeing you. Have a good weekend.
Yes, I actually was supposed to be working, so this was I'm on call today, so it's kind of like a bonus day off. So I don't mind that.
Great. We'll talk to you later then.
All
Bye,
right,
Nancy.
thanks so much, you guys. Good to see
you.
you. Take care now. Let me figure out this. Okay.
Blaine, I want to ask you, do you guys have issue with, like, I don't know how it is for your campgrounds down there, but here in our country, they're not necessarily national parks. They're provincially owned campgrounds, and they put out reservations. You must do reservations, but they're all booked up, like months and months in advance. Do you guys still have that same issue down there? And also, they're selling them. It's like a commodity.
I don't know if they're having that much of an issue. I will say, because we know us, we haven't actually gone out and done anything with our camper and stuff this year, but I will say, or last year too, but the campgrounds are booked up more than they normally are, but I don't think there's that much of an issue with having to do it, months in advance or whatever. Now it depends on where you're at. Now, if I was to make a reservation for Orlando, Florida, I would probably want to do it 2 or 3 months out, because you've got obviously the theme parks and different places like that. So it will be booked more so than, just, out in the country somewhere, campground, that type of thing. So
It's really hard finding a campground here. Really, especially in British Columbia where I live. It's like, this is camping country. Well, the whole country's camping, but very hard. And they put out, like, the provincially owned campgrounds are booked way in advance, and they sell them online, like on Craigslist. They'll sell, hey, I got a weekend pass at this campground.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of that. I'm sure it probably does happen. Just depends on, but yeah, I don't know. Now that could be more so people that have the 1,000 trail campground memberships and the KOAs and all that. So they're trying. Maybe they have certain week. How many? I don't know. Maybe they bought a week or something and trying to sell it to someone. But
like when we rented that the fifth wheel last year, I wanted to do it for my wife's birthday. This campground that we were it was actually an inland park, so it was a national park.
Mm-hmm.
And now we don't pay for what do you call it, camping, because we're on disability and we pay for it, but we have to pay for the reservations. And I had to book, a month in advance just to get the 3 days that I get, but it was booked right up. Like it's insane trying to get camping That's why I love camping and all that, but the campground stuff, they've made it so hard to get to the campgrounds.
I could see that, like you say, national parks and stuff, because it's it's a big to do, people. That's what people's drawn to that area. So I can see a lot of outdoor, because a lot of outdoorsy people, camping and stuff. So going to national parks, so I can see where certain situations as that would probably be weeks in advance. So.
For me, what I see though is that they use too many reservations and not enough first come first serve. Yeah. Right? That'd be sad for me to haul, like you said yours is what? How many feet? 40 something feet.
45. Yeah.
To go up to this campground thinking, oh, I need, you can't do nothing until you do a reservation. So that pushes you like months in advance trying to find a campground.
And we have to be careful anyway, because we have to do a lot of research and stuff to see what kind of campgrounds, because we don't want, and it's pretty tall, so a lot of overhangs or a lot of turns and stuff when you go. Because I know there's a certain campground in Alabama that's they've actually got a rock, like it's a driveway that kind of goes around a rock. So when you come around, you don't know what's coming from the other side, so you got a big rig trying to turn that thing, and so. You got to be careful. And what we do when we get spots is we do a pull through. That way we don't have to back that thing up. All we do is come in from one side, pull in, unhook, do what we need to do. And then when we hook back up, it's easy. We just swing back to the left and leave,
So how is it pulling up to campgrounds? Like is like without reservations? Can that still be done? Like
yeah. I mean, if you don't have it's best to call ahead of time, obviously, just to make sure, because you get in there and then you have to turn that bad boy around and leave. That makes a long day. But people do that all the time. So.
See, the reason why I told you, I had a tent trailer, which was fine, but I had to get rid of it, and so then I'm thinking trailer like you guys got, and then we rented this fifth wheel last summer, and. Then I thought, like, all that, like this campground where we stayed at, it's really like, it's almost like you need a 4x4 to get in with it. And so it's like, you know what? No, I'm not going to do this. So now I told you I want to do a van. So I'm just wondering how it is for van life down, like I've been watching some van life videos down the States. How is the campgrounds to show up? If I'm going on a road trip, I want to be able to know I got a place to sleep overnight, right?
I mean, if I was to make suggestions, I'd say, definitely, I'd call, and make sure, because that's always the best policy. Just to, like you say, you don't want to get there and that might be the only campground in the area for 2 hours, and then you gotta, you're tired. And you're like, well, that'd be a good place. We'll stay there for a day or two, until we go to our next destination. Then you get there and you don't have another campground for 2 hours away, and then you gotta drive. So,
well, that makes it rough.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd be nervous to have a big 45-foot trailer. Like we were in this 26-foot trailer, and that's huge.
It's probably 43 and a half, but still we have a porch on our toy hauler part. So when we get somewhere, we will make sure it's. We always tell them that, because it lets down, and that's another porch on the back. So that's another 4.5, 5 feet there. So we're basically, once we got everything open and stuff, it's almost 50 feet, but now driving, you got to think 45 or so feet. And then our truck's 8-foot bed. And then the front part of it. So you're thinking 45, so 50, we're basically 55, 56, probably more than that. We're basically bigger than almost like an 18-wheeler going down the.
Wow. I actually was a shunt driver for a warehouse. I couldn't drive on the road. I wasn't I only have a regular license. Yeah. I could only drive it within the yard. And so, I used to pull around 53-foot trailers. I know what that's like. And so that was all marked, like painted lines. I had everything. It was perfect, like the perfect space. But when you go into all these campgrounds that you've never known, I would be terrified to get there. It's like, okay, well, now what am I going to do? It's like.
I know, because if you think about it, like I said, 45 plus another, just the back part of the truck, that's 53 feet there. That's a size of a, trailer being pulled by a Mack truck or something, and then the front part. So basically, we're almost the same size. But I, I make sure, we don't drive at night either. That's another thing. I don't, especially in the RV, I don't want to. I can't tell you how many times I've passed by someone on 95 or whatever road I'm on, and they've had a flat tire, because especially during the summer, the pavement's hot anyway, and you've got a lot of weight being carried on the trailer. We've got 3 axles on our trailer, so we got 6 tires on it.
So it's a triaxle. Okay. Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the last thing you want to be is 8 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night, don't know anyone or don't know the area or anything, and you've got a blowout or something happens to something else, So, and once that tire flies off, that whole side of your camper is going to be ripped up, because it does a lot of damage for a blowout. So,
do you have anything like we have here? Like I have BCAA, it's AAA.
Yeah,
you have that down there as well?
Yeah, there's different programs also, like Good Sam Club that we have as part of Camping World and different things. They have a program where you pay, I forget how much it is a year, but they'll come out and help change a tire, or even if something happens and somebody runs out of fuel or something, they'll come out and help you out. So yeah, there's a few different programs.
That's what I'm talking about, like BCAA. Yeah, I pay $13.
It's almost like AAA, something like that. So yeah.
That's exactly what it is. It's the same as the AAA, but ours BCAA, meaning British Columbia AA, Automobiles Association. And the exact same thing. They'll come out up to 200 kilometers for us, so it would sound like in your situation, like you're saying, you're on the side of the highway or the freeway somewhere and you're broke down. Yeah. So yeah.
Blaine, do you have restrictions you find much on bring that trailer through bridges or tunnels, over bridges or through tunnels?
You have to, like I say, you have to know the area. Now there's apps and stuff too. And there's also, there's somebody that knows a lot about camping, probably a whole lot more than I do.
Yeah.
But,
welcome in, KNR.
You have to know the area, I guess, because especially if you, you get off the exit or something, you want to find something to eat or something. The last thing you want to do is go through a underpass, and the thing be lower than you think it is, or something. But
oops, it turned your trailer into a convertible.
I know, right? I've actually, my father-in-law's actually ripped off the. He's passed now, but he's ripped off the top air conditioning thing, because they set probably a good 10 inches up above the camper, so he's ripped a couple of those AC units off there before. But there's a couple, like I said, apps, and also I think there's a GPS you can get to plug in and put on your dash from like Camping World and different things. It'll tell you the area and stuff, and if there's any low hanging bridges or anything. So that's helpful as well.
Cool. That's right. Blaine, where in your trailer do you do this is a spot you do most of your lives, I assume, right?
Yeah, this is the toy hauler part, which is obviously the back of the camper. So, we turned it into the studio. It's probably, I think most toy haulers are about from the door to the back door, 10 feet, 10 or 12 feet. So we got 10 or 12 feet, and then about 8 feet from side to side. So I'm actually, where you see me sitting out here is my wife's desk when she's working, which is where I do all my lives. And then behind me here, where my Mac's sitting there, this is where I do all my work and stuff with my 9 to 5 job. So
his trailer with a garage in it.
Yep.
Is your wife work from the trailer too?
Yep. This is her desk I actually sit at when I do my lives.
Boy, you guys could actually do stuff, drive around and do your work from different remote, couldn't you?
Yeah. Well, what happened is a lot of people know, I know KNR, they'll be familiar with this, but these desks are actually on what they call the Happy Jack system, and there's a button, and it'll go all the way to the ceiling. So what we'll do is we'll take our monitors off when we're traveling and put them up and secure them.
Oh, wow.
Actually, because what it was is my wife and I, we took the sofa and all the dinette and stuff out of the toy hauler, because you could put a table in the middle here, and you got a bench seat on both sides. We took that out, and we've got it stored away, and we put these desks here. We bolted them in, and so when we're traveling, these things are secure up at the top.
That sounds cool.
That's quite the system.
And see,
I like what KNR says. All fancy with his garage.
And like because the bottom floor, we got a rug in here right now because you got the little holes where the tables sit and stuff.
Yeah.
And we've actually covered those. You know, when you're fishing or whatever, you got those seats and stuff, and you can actually put things in the hole to cover them up and stuff. Little plastic.
Right, right.
We've got those in this now, but because we don't use it. But the floor is actually the rugged Rubbermaid type thing, because you know normally we'll have if you're using it like you're supposed to, like K&R, and then probably use it for a ATV or UTV or something. But that's what it's made for, so it's kind of durable back here.
I mean, I don't think.
Toys, Wayne?
What's that?
You don't have any toys?
I don't have any toys.
Wow.
Blaine, you ever think about, I don't know if you've done this yet, you ever think about doing a walk around during one of your lives?
Yeah, I've actually got a lot of video when we were doing the remodel of our studio.
Okay.
And I'm waiting on a few things to get done before I do that. And I'm actually going to do a couple videos of it. But we have our other camper that sits under the our shed, which is on the other side of this camper. And this camper is actually going to go in over there. So once I get everything complete outside and it's ready to go, and then I'll do my all my videos and stuff. So
one thing I like about some creators and stuff, I actually like seeing places where people are from, like where you're from. I've never been to North Carolina, right? You're not South
Carolina.
You're South Carolina? Okay. So I've never been to any of those places.
Yeah.
Right? I've been through New Hampshire. I'm pretty sure I would have been through New Hampshire. John, going to Boston from New Brunswick?
Yeah,
right?
You probably did. Maybe.
Yeah, I went through Maine.
Unless you hit Vermont or something.
Well, no, we went from like New Brunswick, Maine.
Okay.
Isn't it Hampshire? Then
you hit New Hampshire for about 10 minutes then, right at the very southern point of Maine, probably.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Beautiful. But so yeah, I like seeing, like, even where you're from, John. I would love you guys to shoot some video like that. And believe it or not, on my channel, it's not the greatest, but my most popular video that has like 2,700 views is just me driving around my town for 20 minutes, just with a music being played in the background.
Was that when you went on the ferry over to your mother-in-law's?
No. It was just me and Ananda went for a drive around our town, and it was like not even the whole town. It's a 24-minute video, just drive around. And it's my most popular video. It's like, okay. So I just took that as that's an interesting thing. And I like seeing people's places where they're from. Love it.
Right.
We're going to, we've got some of that in mind, actually, in the near future. We live close to Savannah, Georgia, which is probably 30 minutes away. We live 90 miles or less from Charleston, South Carolina. And then I do a lot of work in Hilton Head and Beaufort, South Carolina, and different places, you know. So, and actually, probably the closest thing we may do is in the future is probably pretty soon. There's a national park, the only one in South Carolina. It's Congaree National Park, and we've never been to it. And my wife and I, we were wanting to go up there and do some, looking around. And obviously can't fly the drone, but they'll let you do some photo, video recording and stuff now. Just as long as it's not drone footage. So we're looking forward to that.
Have you done Savannah yet?
I've been obviously to Savannah a lot of time. I haven't shot anything as far as for the channel or anything yet. Yeah, I don't have anything for that.
Because that's a place you want.
Sorry.
What's that?
I was just saying that's one place we want to stop. We've driven down the Florida many times and keep saying we're going to stop there, but we never have. So I was just curious.
How far from Atlanta are you, Wayne?
Atlanta would probably be 3.5, 4 hours, just depending on traffic.
That's not bad.
Probably 3. I could probably do 3.5.
That's like a day trip for anybody. Yeah.
Because we're about an hour. Actually, how far we are? We're less than probably an hour and a half, maybe less than 2 hours from Macon, Georgia. So, and then Atlanta's another hour and a half from.
So if I was coming to visit you, Atlanta would be the airport to fly into then, right?
Charleston Charleston's closer to us actually.
Yeah.
Or just depends on if you can get I guess it depends if you want a direct flight. Savannah, Georgia has an airport, Savannah International Airport. So
Whenever I fly, I look for international. That's
Mhm.
where the hubs are, and that's where the cheaper flights and all that is to get in. Yeah.
I think Hilton Head's even considered. I forgot. I don't know. I have to look and see the proper name. It may be even considered they're getting a lot of flights in now to Hilton Head, but Savannah International, Jacksonville's even closer than Atlanta. Believe it or not.
Are you saying Jacksonville?
Jacksonville, Florida. Yeah.
I was just okay. So you said Jacksonville. I'm thinking Jacksonville's in Florida. And
Yeah,
so-
it's about Jacksonville's. Let me see here. It's closer, I think, than because I've actually flew from there from Las Vegas.
I really want to fly into ATL.
Yeah, that's a massive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Airport. It's crazy in there. 2 hours and 16 minutes. It's only 163 miles to Jacksonville.
Oh wow, that's not bad.
And then if I was to do Atlanta from here, it's 272 miles. It's actually showing 4 hours, but I've been there 3.5 easily. So
All depends on who's driving, right, Blaine?
yeah, exactly, and how quick you need to get somewhere. But yeah,
Yeah, I always see Atlanta as a layover on a lot of flights. It's even coming from the north here. So
For me being out west, the main airports are like Dallas, Fort Worth, Colorado, Utah. Those are the main layovers for anywhere I've seen traveling south down to America. It's all Dallas, Fort Worth, Salt Lake City, and Denver.
I've been to Denver. That's probably my favorite airport.
It's a beautiful airport. Yeah.
But like Kyle's saying with KNR, Atlanta is massive and crazy to navigate. Yeah,
Yeah, but okay. So have you been to LAX?
I've been to LAX. No, I didn't.
Comparative. What's the difference?
I think Atlanta's a lot. Now I shouldn't say this because I've only done it once, and when I was in LAX, that was in what was that? 2012. I'd have to ask my wife, but they were doing construction in there, so they had black barriers up, and you could only go one way. You couldn't actually see what was going on, and so we went up the escalator and did all that, and we really couldn't see what we didn't. I wanted to see the whole airport, because I'm like, when will I be able to come back to LAX? But
that's my thing. That is, I love.
So we couldn't. And I know Kyle says LAX is harder to navigate. Yeah, we didn't have the experience to actually see everything, and they just had us basically going one way, and you couldn't veer off right or left, so it was kind of easier to navigate than it normally would be.
LAX is, well, I haven't been all over America, but LAX is my favorite out of them all. But I like the busyness. I don't mind the business. I'm a nav geek, and so I love all that stuff. I love going to the airport like 7 hours before I need to fly out just to get my fix of the airport, right? And so LAX is a really busy airport.
I've been to Dallas, Fort Worth too, and it was pretty easily, considering Dallas, you'd think, oh man, this is going to be hard to get through or something, but no, Dallas was easy.
Larry, how do you plan on flying down to Miami? Have you looked at that? Would that go through Dallas or
me?
Yeah, Larry. Yeah, when you go cruise out.
All the flights that I've been looking at, the layover is usually in Dallas, Fort Worth.
So it's one stop and then into Miami.
Yeah, it's only one leg usually, or two legs, I guess you would call that.
And you also have another option there too, Larry, with Fort Lauderdale, being so. I guess
everybody's saying that flying into Fort Lauderdale.
Because it's what 30-45 minutes from Miami. Get a cab or whoever.
An Uber, they're saying.
Or who knows? There's going to be people down there like Dwight and Heather. I'm sure they're driving, so they could easily pick you up. And
I never could figure out why are people saying fly to Fort Lauderdale, which is farther.
I think it might be cheaper, and it's not that far, and it's not that far away from Miami, obviously. Now, I know a lot of people will go on cruises out of Miami, and they'll actually, like Sharon and Jamie and Matthew and them, they'll stay in Fort Lauderdale sometimes because it's so close.
And it's not as expensive to stay in a hotel as Miami is for the hotel.
They'll stay at the Embassy Suites there in Fort Lauderdale, and get a cab or whatever, Uber or whoever, to carry them to the port.
I'm curious for you guys in America, what is an average nightly price for, like I say, a 3 or 4 star hotel?
Just depend what.
Not 5-star. I'm not talking the Hilton.
Yeah, you're talking like maybe a nice Holiday Inn or a Days Inn.
Yeah, Holiday Inn.
What time of year? What time of year you talking?
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, here we go. Like going in January. I have a membership with Holiday Inn, so that's a good thing.
Less than 100.
Yeah,
Really?
89 to 99 probably,
Yeah.
and it depends on what you're getting and stuff too, and what part of the country you're going to, obviously. But since you're going down there, yeah, it should be under probably tax and everything. You might be at 105,
So 160 Canadian, which is still good. Annette and I, this was in season, summer season kind of deal. We paid over $200 a night for a 3-star, and actually, it was just in the news that it burnt down.
You can see why.
But yeah, $200 a night just for the stinky room. It's like, and it was a smoking room, which we don't have here in Canada.
Where was that, Larry? Where was the hotel? Where was the hotel?
It was in Vancouver. Like where I live, whenever we go into Vancouver for doctor's appointments, we actually get free hotel stays. We still have to pay for it and get reimbursed and all that. But this was $200 for this stinky. It was really. Get up the next morning, there's a hooker standing out in front of it. So that was $200 a month. So when you say Holiday Inn, Blaine, the last Holiday Inn was back in March of last year, just when the pandemic was going. I actually thought it had the COVID, and it was at the Holiday Inn, and that was $100 and something a night. Mm-hmm. Like that's what I consider a great price range. But I'm seeing in Miami, they're expensive in Miami.
Now, yeah, if you stay like when we were going October, we were going on the Sharon. Mm-hmm. And the group cruise and stuff that got canceled, and we actually had reservations for Embassy Suites. I know. I was thinking this. I was like, well, at least you got.
I think we all thought the same.
Well,
thing.
I didn't get my money's worth. Maybe I should go back.
Hey, at least you got a free excursion. You got the sightsee.
Yeah.
But we. I know. Like the Embassy Suites, I want to say it was probably going to cost us $2 something, which is, but it's like $250 probably, or maybe $200. I can't remember what the price was, about taxes and everything, but I don't, my wife likes drinking wine and stuff, but I don't, but big draw for Embassy Suites is they have that free happy hour and stuff that they allow, for or 2 hours of happy hour type thing. I think from like 5 to 7 or something. Everybody, congregates in the lobby because it's so huge. And they. Is
that the hotel that they stayed at where like all the balconies looks like it's on the inside of a big, huge?
Yeah, I think so. I've stayed at one of those two in Atlanta. Actually, one of the Marriotts in Atlanta is that way. So
yeah, there's a lot. I'm trying to think of the other branch. It has a foreign name, but a lot of them do that now, where the balconies look over the lobby.
Love that. I just love that look. Mm-hmm. That looked really cool. But you're saying that's $2 something a night?
Yeah, it was. It was pricey, but I mean, like you say, you're getting.
If you're getting something really
something in return, and now you're flying obviously, but like for people that drive to these places, they'll look for different hotels that do the park and stay. That will let you stay for 7 days. We did that when we went on the Horizon a couple years ago, and in Miami we stayed at one of the park and stay hotels. I forgot the name of the hotel now, but we did that.
We drive down.
Sorry, John, you're the host. You go.
No, I was going to say we drive down to New York a lot, and the reason we do it's about a 5-hour drive, and we do the package that Blaine's talking about. It's a heck of a deal. I mean, you pay a fee. I think it was under 300, and you get the night, you get a breakfast, you get we go for 12 to 14 days, so you get all that included in parking, and you get the round trip shuttle, all included in that price.
Well, is that right in New York?
Actually, this is in New Jersey, right over the bridge, but they shuttle you into New York.
That still sounds good, though.
Yeah, it's about a 20-minute ride.
I'll be going to New York one day. When we were talking about flights, basically, for me, where I live here in Vancouver, anywhere in America is roughly $300 Canadian return, roughly, give or take, between $300 and $400 anywhere. Right. So to New York, $300. Like it might sound, I don't know how that sounds to you guys, but here, comparative how much it is to fly in Canada, that $300, that's a steal.
Right.
That's on my bucket list one day. My wife's been, her and her mom and brother.
New York?
But I'm wanting to go to New York one day. I may regret it when I get there, but at least I can say, hey, I've been there.
Go see a show.
I really got to see it busy, though. Like, it's got to be back to normal, somewhat normal.
I don't like too many people. I know, like when you see Times Square during the New Year's Eve, obviously that's a special occasion, so it is going to draw a lot of people. But that's just too many people to me. Shoulder to shoulder and hitting. I'm not into all that.
I actually used to be craving big city stuff and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Now I live in a small town. I don't, but for me, I still kind of like it it's kind of like the vacation for me to see the big crowd stuff, the big busy stuff.
Yeah. Even
though it's still hard in the head.
Yeah.
All the honking and hollering and swearing and beeping and
don't get me wrong. I would love to see that, from a distance or, at least when I see that, I know, hey, things must be getting back to normal. We've got crowds again, that'll be a good sign, if I see that.
I've been watching some people doing their video of what it's like now.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, how dead and quiet it is right now. It's like, wow.
No, it's like Maryland and Frank with NYC Rocks. Every once in a while they'll be out and, it'll be dead. No one, for 500
That's amazing.
yards.
Every video she does, it's like nobody's around. It's just them. It's like, that's not New York. Come on.
They've got
scary.
I know it's like they got New York City all by themselves,
Some kind of a movie, one of the ones with the plagues or the zombies or something.
Dang.
I really just want to. I actually like variety of things available, like food. I'm a foodie. Anywhere I go, I'm always checking out the food scene.
Me too.
Yeah, and so. That's what I like about big cities. You always have this variety of stuff. Here where I live in Powell River, we have limited restaurants. What's this? I lived in New York all my life and I wouldn't go to Times Square. What?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Najuma, yeah.
She's in New York and she's never been to. Wow, I would.
I hear that from a lot of people, though, from New York. When I say I'd like to go there for New Year's or something, they say they would never go into Times Square. So I don't know.
Although I don't think I would do what I hear a lot of people do, and they use their own diapers.
I probably shouldn't. I know when you got to go. I mean, you're talking about 7 people deep in the. You get out. You can't. That might be a crappy situation.
I wouldn't mind going, but I would never do that. But I hear a lot of people do.
Say I wouldn't mind going for New Year's or anything. But I wouldn't be caught down in the
I see.
I wouldn't mind, like if I had a hotel overlooking the ball or something, and I could see outside, that'd be fine.
If you're going there for New Year's, you want to see that ball drop.
Yeah, as long as I'm up here, looking over the horizon or so, I don't want to be down there in the middle of it all. That's for sure.
Yeah, if you're lucked out, you're in a hotel somehow or your own hotel right there on Times Square. That'd be the ultimate, I guess.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to pay the price for a hotel if you're driving that kind of view.
No.
I know. That's true. It all depends.
Talk about Vegas. That was something else that I'm seeing too, because I watch a lot of Vegas videos.
My parents
that's really really strange to not see anybody out.
Yeah, no, my parents lived in North Las Vegas, and I've actually gone out to Las Vegas one time when they moved out there. But it's one of those places, at least I can say I've been to Las Vegas,
I've been there once, but I really we were actually planning to go down in April of just last year. It was going to be April 22nd when we were going down, but then obviously everything shut down. But I actually like Vegas. I like to visit for a couple days. That's it. Get out.
There's a couple places, and even not in Nevada as a whole. There's a lot of cool places to see. So Reno and Lake
flying into McCarran Airport. That I just love the mountains. How we went out over the desertous mountains and came back in and land. Oh.
I didn't fly into McCarran because it was when I actually helped my parents when they moved out there. So we drove from South Carolina, which that was awesome. We got to see a lot of the country, from South Carolina. We went up Tennessee, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Texas, Arizona.
This is what I'm gonna do. Like seriously, I told you we're getting this van. This is what I want to do. I want to go down and do all those things that you're saying.
Yeah, it was awesome, and I stayed there for a couple of days, and then, like I said, I didn't fly into obviously McCarran, but I took a red-eye flight out of McCarran, so I really didn't get to see the. It was 4:00 in the morning or something, so I didn't get to see the horizon, the different landscapes and stuff. But.
Yeah, you've done national parks, right?
What's that?
You've done the national parks, right?
I have not. No.
Larry, you've never done them, have you?
None.
Danny's done a lot of national parks, and actually, when we go to Congaree, that'll be the first. I shouldn't say it'll be the first. I went to one national park when I was younger. I don't really remember too much, but it was the Smoky Mountain National Park, which is the busiest one in the U.S. So,
you just said a name. What? Congaree?
Congaree, Congaree National Park.
I never heard of that.
It's a national park in upstate South Carolina.
Okay.
It's the only national park we have. Probably the closest national park until you get to to the Smoky Mountains.
It's a bucket list thing for us.
The only thing I've seen with a national park down in America was the Grand Canyon from the air on our way down to Mexico.
That'd be nice. That would be nice to see.
When we drove out to Las Vegas, actually, when we were in Arizona, we drove around, through the Grand Canyon area, but we actually haven't gone to the Grand Canyon and looked at it, but we drove through the rocks and all the Grand Canyon stuff. That was pretty amazing just in itself.
So this travel agent thing, this is just opening up doors that I've been wanting to do. I was talking to my wife Ananda last year, and I was, hey, wouldn't it be so cool to be nomads? Just give up everything and just be a nomad. And so now this opportunity is opening up. Like, do this, then I can still work down on a road trip. I can take as long as I want on a road trip. Oh, I can't wait. And yes, I'll come to the east, John, for sure.
Now you got to hit everything. What you need is a big, long road trip, like you said.
That's what I'm planning. I'm planning it. Oh, yeah.
See, I've already started planning, and I've got stuff wrote down here. I don't know if you can see it.
You're farther than me.
Yeah, I've got stuff,
Wow. That way, Park, yeah.
That way,
places I want to go. Isn't that the, what do you call it, Four Corners?
Yeah, I think they got, like in Utah, they have 5 national parks. So yeah. I think we'll probably end up hitting at least 3, maybe. But
I watched a bunch of videos. They called it the Four Corners, and you got to visit. I love Utah. The views.
That's another airport we've actually flew in and out of is the Salt Lake City airport.
Salt Lake City, I have a bunch. Well, not a bunch, but a few times, yeah.
Yeah, well, actually 3 last time, not this past time because we were just there in December, but the time before that was 2 years prior. We went to Montana and during Christmas, I guess it was too. And anyway, it was cold and snowy and stuff.
I was fortunate enough to see that during the winter and the snow, and it's like, we sat there 10 or 15 minutes and they said, okay, we're getting de-iced, so they de-iced it. Because, I mean, you can see the snow cap, it
where they got the snow packed up to the side, and all. It's pretty cool.
Well, it gets scary. Did you see Johnny's last video? I think it was taken this week. They were in Arizona.
In a park.
Yeah, and everything looks beautiful. And then as they're going up the mountain, they get trapped in the snowstorm.
I saw that. I was like, those roads, it was pretty snowy there and stuff. I was like, oh man. But and then just a couple of days prior to that, they had this nice view, it started with I forgot, it was that lake photo, it was nice.
It was in Sedona, right? I think it was in Sedona.
Somewhere out there. Yeah, I forgot what, but yeah, it was nice. And then, like you said, and then all of a sudden you see a video where it's a snowstorm.
I love that stuff. I worked in
What's that?
Go ahead, Larry. Go ahead.
Where I worked in Jasper National Park in Canada, in Alberta, it's in the mountains, and yes, they get snow during the summer as well. That is really fascinating, and they have hot spring pools, and so you're in a hot spring pool, hot tub basically, with snow-capped mountains all around you. That it's like $1 million, and so it's basically the same thing as what you're saying there. The snow, I just love it. Seeing like one minute it's nice and sunny, and then in the next minute it's snowing. Yeah,
that's why when we carry our RV, we're going to make sure, especially going out west into some of those states, it'll be later in the spring and early summer, and then if we do carry our RV somewhere in the winter, it'll be the Florida or something like that, where obviously we know we won't get trapped in a snowstorm or something.
Here in British Columbia, you can't travel the highways like going east without winter tires or chains. So in your case, you would have to have chains. In my case, I use all seasons. And so it has to have the the snowflake on it. If it doesn't, you cannot drive on the roads. Yeah.
Hey.
Have you gone cross country, Blaine, at all? What's the furthest west you've gone?
We actually haven't carried our camper that far, but as far as just going in general, I've gone to Colorado, Montana. That's as far as for the states, but I have been to California. I just haven't been up into Oregon or Washington State or anything. That's a couple states I want to hit up one of these days as well. I want to go to Seattle and hopefully get on an Alaska cruise one of these days. So
to answer Sherry, I'm 3 hours north of Vancouver, British Columbia, on the west coast. And John, I wanted to comment on that question that you did there. I've been across Canada. I've been in basically every major city except for Newfoundland and the Northwest Territories and Yukon, like the northern and Nunavut. But I've been all across Canada numerous times. I've actually hitchhiked across Canada. I had money in my pocket, but I wanted the adventure when I was young.
Wow, that's different. Yeah, I didn't think one province or one town, whatever you call it, was that different until I started watching some videos. And you've got an incredible amount of nature and diversity, really.
Yeah, it's a lot of nature, a lot. Like people talk about, I don't know what you guys call them down there, flatlands, whatever it is. I had the name. We call it the prairies, like Manitoba and Saskatchewan. It's all farmland, wheat fields and stuff, and you can see for miles and miles and miles and miles. Like the roads are like you can actually put your vehicle on cruise control and go for about an hour, just straight road of nothing. But I love it. It's beautiful. But I've been across Canada numerous times, and the majority of my travel across Canada has been by Greyhound bus. 55 hours from St. John, New Brunswick to, well, mainly it was Alberta, between New Brunswick and Alberta, but it's an extra 12 from Alberta to British Columbia, where I'm at now. I loved bus travel. I used to love it. Like, I didn't like the stinkiness and all that, but I always brought extra socks and all that kind of stuff. And you go in, you have basically they stopped every 2 hours, and you go in and wash up and stuff like that into the wherever you stop for lunch or whatever. But I loved it. And so, yeah, I've been in every major city all across Canada, and I want to do that in America. I've only been to Boston on the East Coast, so I got to get that in there.
It looks like Sherry is planning a meetup out in Missouri. So,
I know I actually got. I don't know if you can see it. One of the stops.
Yeah, there it is. St. Louis, Missouri, 2 nights.
I got St. Louis on my list. Obviously that's just kind of a rough draft, and depending on how many days we decided if we do it. So, but speaking of Canada, I have been to Medicine. I think I told Medicine Hat. Yeah, just up from Montana there, because my brother-in-law used to live in Havre, Montana, which is probably an hour or so from the border, I guess. And
Medicine Hat's in a beautiful area. It's pretty much flat, but yeah, beautiful area.
It was nice. What happened was my father-in-law and my brother-in-law went fishing with a friend of his, and I said, that'd be nice to go fishing and stuff. I love fishing, but I said, am I ever going to get the opportunity to go to Canada? So I said, I brought my passport. I said, let's go. And he let us borrow his truck because my brother-in-law's friend was actually driving them, and so that was pretty cool. It was on a Sunday actually, and a lot of stuff was closed in Medicine Hat, which we didn't really go there to go to a lot of places. We just wanted to see the view and the scenery and stuff, which worked out nice for us. There weren't too many people on the road, and we could kind of chill out and do as we wanted. So we did eat at a place called Montana's, which we thought was pretty funny.
Montana's Grill.
Yeah, it was funny. We're like, well, we just came from Montana, so let's eat here.
Yeah, it's called Montana's Grill.
Mm-hmm. It was good.
It's a popular chain, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I actually wanted to comment to Sherry. She did a live feed at this, and I don't know if you guys seen it. She was doing a live feed, and I think it was one of your things.
Yeah, it was. At the the boat, the ferry and stuff.
The boat that was going out there. And she was driving through this town. I don't know if she was from there or she was staying there, but I could not believe how small the town was, but all the activities that you can do in there, hockey rinks, and it seemed like it's smaller than I have. And it's like the whole town was like activities, and it's like, I can do this. Oh, I can do this. Oh, I can do this. It's like, oh,
I think that was when she was at Branson, because I think that ferry was called the Spirit of Branson or something. I think it was part of. I think now, don't quote me on that, but
that was Branson. She's saying, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
There's a lot to do in Branson, it seems.
Yeah,
I couldn't believe it. Like when she was doing that little drive through the town, it's like, you got this, and you got this, and you got this.
It's a lot like, because they call them sister cities, but Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, and Brentford, Missouri, they're actually, a lot of the stuff that you see in Branson and Pigeon Forge, they're owned by the same sister companies. Like, for instance, both of those have Dolly Parton's Stampede. It's called the Dolly Stampede, I think now. It used to be called the Dixie Stampede, but Dolly owns, her company owns a lot of the stuff out in Branson and also Pigeon Forge. So.
Yeah, we have the Calgary Stampede up here, which is very popular, but it's also, I'm not going to get into the politics about it, but it's controversial, and it's mainly because of the deaths of the horses in the chuck wagons. They're like every year there's horses. So I don't know how it is down there, but there's a lot of animal lovers up here that doesn't agree with that. But
it's more of I can see that from up there, that perspective. It's more here. It's like a dinner and a show almost, type thing. It's they give you. You don't want to eat for 2 days after eating there. They give you a big old whole chicken and
tons and tons,
baked potato and corn and a dessert.
I've been to a PBR actually in Calgary, Professional Bull Riders Association. What a night! It's totally different in live than it is on TV, man.
Yeah, but
if you've ever been to it, it's like, wow! Like you get the feel, the rumble of them hitting the fence, and it's like, whoa!
I
wasn't too far from the fence.
Yeah, I've been to a few rodeos and stuff.
Have you? Like I didn't do the Calgary Stampede, which is the full, like you got everything. This was just a bull riders thing that they had. They didn't have the horse. What do you call it? The horse and barrel and all that.
Yeah.
But this was bulls, and then like the clowns and everything. and wow, like, yeah.
I don't know. Then when
If
somebody
you haven't seen it, you got to see it in person. It's totally different. Seeing it in person than on TV.
exactly. Then when somebody does a heck of a ride, you know, and you got 10,000 people standing on, I mean, it's, you know, I mean, you can feel the stadium, the excitement, you know.
I always envisioned myself doing that, but I was always safe. I never got hurt ever.
Just get on one of those. Just get on one of those bucking bulls that one, you know,
I've been on one of those once, and it didn't last long.
mechanical bulls or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
Never tried one of those.
me either.
Oh, they're fun.
They look like they put a lot of padding around you, so if you're thrown off, you probably don't get hurt, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, it is. Yeah.
Knowing me, when it bucks me or something, I end up going forward, you know, and I'll hit the darn thing.
Right on the horn.
So you're pretty safe.
That's right. They have these type of things all over Florida, I think, too, right? Does Dolly Parton have one of those in Florida?
No, just the Pigeon Forge and Branson, because she's you know, obviously her home and stuff, rather than like Dollywood. Dolly has that Dollywood and Pigeon Forge, but not Branson. But they have the Stampede that's the same, and some other things that they actually own. So
That's right. I think it's called Arabian Nights in Florida, along the same lines, something like that.
yeah, maybe I've heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah, we have one called Medieval Manor, which is in the theme of the medieval times, and it's like Sherry was saying, you eat with your hands and all that kind of stuff. And
Yeah, they
I've
have
experienced that once, eating with the hands. It's very interesting.
yeah.
But this was like an African family that I was with, and really, really interesting.
Like Pigeon Forge, and also I'm sure Branson. I've never been to Branson, but they have a lot of the Pigeon Forge has a medieval times theater, I think. So I've never been to it, but I see it every time we go. But I want to try it one day. But it's a medieval times type thing.
yeah, there's a lot of those with different themes. Disney has that, what's that Western one they have, you know, in Fort Wilderness?
Yeah.
It's been going on for years.
Yeah.
I don't know Disney much.
That's another place is when we talking about Fort Wilderness, the campground and stuff they have in Disney. They have so many campgrounds around Disney. We probably wouldn't ever. It depends, I guess. It's probably more so of the experience, but it's like $150 a night to use, you know, or 120. I forgot what it is. It may be 120 now, but anyway,
Spot to camp?
for a campground at Fort Wilderness Campground down there, and I'd have to look to see what all. I'm sure you get some perks and different things, such as since you are technically staying inside. I don't know if you probably wouldn't get all the perks you would if you were staying in the Polynesian or something, but you'd have to be getting something for that price.
You don't get a lot though, Blaine. It's more the Disney atmosphere. I think you get the early entry type of things.
Yeah, you do get that. I know that much, but I didn't know what else you got for that, because I think I looked at the price and I didn't look no further. So.
No, my father tried to get us in there over 30 years ago. There was a waiting list for 6 months. We never get in. Back then, it was less than $20 a night. And you're right. So I think it's over 100 now for that.
Yeah, it's 120 because I did look at the price when we went there before, and we were like, should we carry our camp? And they're like, well, no, we can stay out because we have a timeshare. And we were like, we'll do the exchange thing, you know. So for less than $500 for the whole week, we stayed off property, you know.
I understand, like, charging, you know, supply and demand. That's the way it works.
Yeah.
I wouldn't pay that much, but you know, I do understand it. In Florida, that's a camper's paradise down there.
Yeah, I guess the biggest perk would be you could just step on the boat to take you to the parks. That's probably the biggest thing.
And you got, you know, like Sherry's talking, you know, the hotel resort and stuff for that price. You got to think too, you know, by the time you drive down, depending on where you're coming from, you know, you got a diesel and you got a big rig, so you got to deal with all that, and you know, you're spending a lot of money, especially when you got to fuel up. Like for us, we're about 4 hours, I guess, from Disney, and that's driving in the car, so you got to add another hour and a half, because you can't go but 60 mile per hour in a big rig like we got. So you know, so you're looking at a little bit more time, and that's more fuel. So
All right.
I wonder what would be would there be much difference between your 45 foot RV over a Class C? Or sorry, Class A?
A Class A?
Yeah.
Probably, I would say obviously they're a whole lot more expensive as far as the
right,
paying
yeah.
and stuff, but I still probably would say I don't know what they get for Class A per mile, but our truck pulling this thing here is probably only about 10 or 11 miles per gallon, maybe 12 on a good day. So as far as fuel goes, there's probably not a whole lot more.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not, spending a whole lot more. It's just a lot of people would rather have a fifth wheel than a Class A, and then you got some people that rather have Class A's and stuff. To me, I feel more comfortable in a fifth wheel because the way and over a bumper pull, a travel trailer, because the way the trailer is set and balanced in the back of the pickup truck is actually safer than a travel trailer. Like a little thing.
Yeah, because yours is a fifth wheel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. I saw how that with the oh wow, brain freezing on the name, but yeah,
the hitch and stuff.
Yeah, it seemed pretty much more secure than.
If you think about it, the tires on a lot of the travel trailers are a lot smaller and thinner.
Yeah.
And so you'll get more of the, especially in the wind and stuff, you'll get more swaying back and forth. So that's another thing. Plus,
I never did get to take out my tent. I had a tent trailer, but it was a very heavy one, and I actually thought I could pull it. I bought it, and I thought I can pull it with my car, but I didn't have a hitch, so I had it parked in my yard, and I was doing all the things that I needed to do. And a friend towed it to my yard, and I never got to drive it. So I was kind of worried about like the stuff like what you're saying, like the winds and stuff.
And you got to, I tell you what's fun. You got to, there comes some more RVers that's pros in the chat. Weekend RV, and they're full-time RVers right now.
Yep.
And you also gotta be careful too when you're going down 95 or the interstate or wherever you're at, and you're minding your own business, and that big 18-wheeler passes you beside you. So that drift of that wind, that can be fun sometimes too.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, I actually got to get going. I got a Zoom meeting coming up here at 2.
Yeah, I was going to. No, I've kept you guys long enough. We're almost been on here for 3 hours.
Yeah, I gotta go see what I'm gonna do for dinner. I'm getting a little hungry.
Yeah, same here.
Baked potato.
I just finished my bottle of Coke, so that's going through me too.
Yeah.
What did you have, John?
Just a bottle of cola. Well, actually, no.
That's why I'm drinking water.
I just had a Coke too.
Oh, same thing. I got the no name brand though.
Oh, you guys, call it
those
soda.
are good too.
Soda a long time ago.
Yeah, I need to stop.
I have diabetes, so I had to really stop, or I'm gonna hurt myself.
Yes, not a good thing. I want to thank Blaine and Larry very much for coming up here, keeping me company, and I get Sherry still in the house. She's my watch hour buddy here. So anyone that likes to sit back and do playlists, please look at J&N Travels and Sherry Awesome Sunsets and run playlists. We'd really appreciate it.
I'm going to help out my friend later after I do the Zoom meeting.
I know Weekend RVing does a lot of. They have a lot of people in their community that do a lot of running playlists. So if Weekend RVing can help run some playlists and maybe spread the word, that'd be awesome. James and Millie, they're great people. So
that's great. Yeah, follow them all the time. Would you guys each like, before you cut you off, say a little bit in closing about your channels and what you're up to, and then we'll call the night.
Wayne,
I guess I'll go. Thank you for having us, be a part of this pop-up and helping you out with your watch time. We wish you, hopefully you'll get it sooner than later. And like I said, thank you for allowing us to come up on panel with you. And our channel is Rayleigh Creative Travel. We go live Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern. And we talk anything from cruising, Disney, land vacations, RV travel, we just talk about it all. So we do have a Facebook called Rayleigh Creative Travel Tribe. So make sure you come over and check us out. And we just love the community. We just love people. So,
And we
Thank
love
you very
you.
much, Blaine.
oh, thank you.
Thank you, Blaine. Go ahead, Larry.
Yeah, so my channel's name is Plump Travelers. I was planning to do travel videos, but obviously we can't do no travel videos right now. So my channel is going to be about me and my wife. We're plump, and so we want to just inspire others to get out and travel. We both love travel. I personally believe in travel. We all need to step out of our bubbles and just to go explore and experience life outside of what we're normally doing. And so I am getting back into the travel world, and I can't wait to get back in there. I was going to do it last year, but I have to wait a little longer, but that's okay. And so right now I have some content, some old content from back when, you had the cell phones and the iPhone 3s, and you're doing it this way, and look it over there, and you're moving fast and all that stuff. So I just temporarily put that up, and I'm using it to learn and to grow my channel from there. It's not the greatest content. It's by no means close to AAA content, but it's content, and it shows where I'm from, where I live right now in Powell River. There's a lot of that in there. I have a lot of ideas in the future. I'm planning on bringing in food, but I'm also about to become a travel agent. So hopefully that'll open up a lot of doors to help me with some content. But again, so my channels, we're called Plump Travelers, and we're just about inspiring others to get out there and travel.
Great. Thank you very much, Larry. And I will say good night to you, Blaine.
Good night.
Good night.
And good night to you, Larry. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Bye. Okay. So that's the end of our pop-up. I want to thank everyone that did pop up and thank everyone who popped into the chat. We really appreciate it. Our next 2 lives is this Wednesday, which we will do in top Disney rides. We'll give our top ones. We want your top Disney attractions. And then the following Sunday, which is Super Bowl Sunday, we'll be reviewing from worst to first the 15 top halftime shows for the Super Bowl and doing some Super Bowl related trivia. So hope to see you during the next 2 lives. Thank you once again for joining us, and all of you have a good weekend.